Right off the bat, the husband and wife are already in bed together. The husband bites his wife's ear. It draws blood. He whispers in her ear, "Everything about you belongs to me." Fast forward a few years, at a jewelry event. The advertiser wants you to show off the watch on the red carpet. Just run your hand through your hair. Mentions the watch was designed specifically for the man beside him and asks if he likes it. And the man says with a blank expression, "It's alright." The assistant thinks, after all these years working as an actor's assistant, he's never seen anyone better looking than Shisai Miller. Shisai Miller burst onto the scene and took all of North America by storm. After playing a wide range of roles, he built a rock-solid fan base. In recent years, his acting has finally gotten the recognition it deserves. He's at the absolute peak of his career. Fans online say they'd give anything just to meet him once. Of course, anyone who's actually seen his real personality would think twice about that. At the venue, the assistant warns everyone that the crowds are massive. Stay sharp. The moment Shisha steps out of the car, he has every fan's full attention. He does exactly what was asked, casually runs a hand through his hair, flashing the brand's watch. That effortlessly cool look of his sends the fans into an absolute frenzy. And of course, right at that moment, a bolt on the barrier snaps and a wave of fans rushes straight toward Shisei. It's terrifying. News outlets quickly report that the event's crowd got out of control and several people were injured. A convenience store clerk complains that Shisei never even said sorry. All those people got hurt because of the good-looking customer in front smiles and says he doesn't really follow celebrity stuff. The clerk freezes the moment he gets a good look at the guy. The handsome stranger hands over his card and asks to check out. The clerk snaps back to it and quickly says, "Oh, sure thing." The clerk watches the guy walk out. The girl next to him can barely contain herself. "Did you see that guy just now? He's gotta be an alpha, right?" The girl says she didn't catch a whiff of any pheromones though. "I don't know, but nobody that good looking can't be an alpha. And that body too." The girl agrees. "Those shoulders are insane. Never coming back to this place. Checkout took forever." And the staff just standing there gossiping. Ever since that incident, he'd been hearing Shisai's name multiple times a day. If you live in this country, there's just no escaping that name. No way out. Xiaoxi gets back home, knocks on the door, and smiles warmly when he sees who comes running to open it. A chubby little kid flings the door open and shouts, "Daddy," all excited. Xiaoxi happily scoops his son up in a big hug. "You're back. John, thanks for holding it down." John answers, "No worries at all. Pete was great. Total breeze to look after. You've seriously been a huge help. Exams are coming up soon, right? Just give me a heads up on days you can't make it." John says he'll try his best to find the time. John says his goodbyes to the father and son and heads out. Xiaoxi suggests they start on dinner. Announces he doesn't want soybeans. Soybeans and potatoes are best friends. Doesn't eating them together make you happy? Pete pouts and is clearly not having it. Xiaoxi looks into Pete's eyes and is suddenly reminded of Chisai's eyes, so similar. Chisai's entire face flashes in his mind. Pete yells out, "I still hate soybeans." That snaps his dad right back to reality. He chuckles softly and says, "Looks like we got a battle on our hands tonight." Once he disappears in the kitchen, he misses the calling phone sitting on the living room table. He's been hiding the fact that he's an Omega, raising a kid on his own, until his mom suddenly ends up in the hospital with no money to pay for treatment. She cracks open a can, wraps up everything for the night, and thinks to herself, what a long day. Her nightly routine, cook dinner for Pete, who absolutely hates soybeans, give him a bath, then rock him to sleep. Life isn't exactly easy, but she doesn't mind it. If anything, it feels just right. When Pete goes off to college someday, I'm probably gonna be a mess. Then her phone rings. It's her sister crying, saying she doesn't know what to do. She says their mom collapsed, and is at the hospital. Wait, what? Just take a breath and tell me what happened. Is she in the ER right now? Her sister says yes. Mom's out of immediate danger, but she needs to be admitted for a few days and has to run some tests. The insurance company said last time was the final coverage, no more renewals. I took time off work and tried to get a bank loan. I seriously thought Mom was gone. She wasn't responding, wasn't breathing, no matter how many times I called her name. She tells her sister to go home and rest. Don't worry, she'll figure something out. She hangs up and lets out a long sigh. No insurance, no loan options. How much do I even have in savings? Just then, Pete wakes up and shuffles out. He rubs his eyes and looks up at his dad. His dad immediately goes over and scoops him up. God, this hug is exactly what I need. Xiao slowly soothes Pete back to sleep. The next morning, Chia is already at work. The boss isn't even in yet. How are you already here? She notices a news story in the newspaper on the desk. Her coworker says she's a prosecutor on that New York murder case. Pretty good looking, right? Her coworker asks Chia to guess. Alpha or Omega? Josh says it's hard to tell. Her coworker says he's probably not a beta, though you never know. Barring beta mutations, alphas and omegas who differentiated in their genes tend to be really striking. You can usually tell just by looking. No need to check their pheromones. I always figured you were an alpha. Honestly, kind of shocking. Well, Qiaoxi shrugs it off and says, oh really? But Qiaoxia is neither a beta nor an alpha. She's an omega, with a visible mark behind her ear. If it weren't for this job as a bodyguard, she wouldn't need to hide it at all. Nobody's going to hire an omega as a bodyguard. Her pheromones are weak enough that the medication keeps them completely undetectable. And since most people already assume she's an alpha, no one even thinks to question it. The mark on her ear, covered up with tape. Since bodyguards wear earpieces all the time anyway, nobody ever notices. Her asks how old Pete is and says raising a kid must be exhausting. Xiaoxi says it's fine. He goes on to say a kid really needs a mom around. Xiaoxi is not here for the unsolicited concern. Rose, you're too close. Still no word from Pete's mom. Poor Pete must really be missing her. Xiao thinks the last thing she needs is to get into it with a coworker. Coworker says isn't she gone anyway? You never know. She could show up out of nowhere one day. Listen, footsteps coming this way. Is that her? The coworkers start to panic. The boss walks in out. What are you two doing here this early? Good morning, Mark. Were you waiting for me? Come on in then. And just like that, the two of them head into the office one after the other. Why won't you give Roz a chance? Raising a kid solo is no joke. Xu she says Pete's mom will be back once she finishes school. Mark couldn't care less about any of that. Xiu asks if she can get an advance on her paycheck. A man desperate to cover medical bills takes a bodyguard job, only to find out his employer is the very man who got him pregnant and remembers none of it. Josh goes to his boss to ask for an advance, and his boss calmly asks how much. When Josh says $10,000, his boss is stunned and asks if he's been gambling. Joshua says no, his mom is sick. His boss recalls Josh mentioning his mom had ongoing health issues, high blood pressure, kidney problems. Joshua says he has some savings, but it's not enough. He asks his boss to help him find something. Any job, even security work. Boss says security work would take forever to make that kind of money. Joshua knows he's right. His boss pinches the bridge of his nose and says there is one job. Good pay, solid terms overall. Actually make that great terms. Now the amount you're asking for can be paid all at once or advanced upfront. But the client is a serious problem. Josh asks who it is. His boss says it's Chiz Miller. Remember that? You did bodyguard work from a few years back. Josh keeps his face neutral, but his fists clenched tight. How could I ever forget that name? Those violet eyes looking down at me. That natural golden hair. Chiz Miller, Hollywood's hottest star. The man who marked me. The man who got me pregnant with Pete. That night, Josh gets home and collapses on the couch with a sigh. God, could this get any worse? He thinks back to what his boss said that morning, that the others didn't want to eat. Honestly, I've had this contract for a week. I figured everyone would turn it down, and I was ready to pass on it too. You know how it is, Miller's got a terrible temper. Why else would a contract from 7 other agencies end up with us? But the deal itself is genuinely great. Miller never cuts corners when it comes to money. Josh asks what the others think, and his boss says they're still weighing it. Roughly 6 months of work, maybe as short as 3. Anything beyond 6 months comes with a bonus. The cash bag, this might be worth it. If you're in, the whole crew goes with you. No pressure on you alone. Josh figures 6 months tops. Once the contract's up, he's out. If they're short-handed, his boss Marco will figure something out. He asks his boss who's taking the job. His boss says right now it's him, Seth, Henry, and Isaac. 4 people. Then grumbles that Henry looks like he's been gambling again. Josh says he's in. Good. Alright, that makes 5 counting you. But what about Pete? Josh says his sister and mom can watch Pete in the meantime. His boss says perfect. He'll email Josh the departure date and the contract. But Josh hangs up and tells himself it'll be fine. My buddy, sweet as a candy bar, Chiz Miller's debut chocolate commercial. In the ad, Chiz was dressed as a girl and instantly became every little American boy's first crush. Josh was no exception. When he found out years later that Chiz was a guy, he didn't know what to do with himself. Even now, Chiz doesn't need to try, no memorizing lines, no big performance. He just has to stand there, and that's enough, just like right now. Josh stares up at the giant billboard, eyes locked on Chiz, every move, every expression, that flawless face. And it's only when his son Pete calls out, Dad, a few times that he snaps back to reality. Dad, are we going to Grandma's now? Josh says Aunt Emma is coming to pick us up. Pete says he can't wait to see Grandma. Josh tells him Grandma misses Pete. He glances back at Chess's billboard. As long as the pay comes through on time, I don't care about anything else. He shouldn't find out Pete exists. I barely give off any pheromone scent. He'll think I'm a beta like everyone else does. Just another forgettable bodyguard, not worth a second look. And more than anything, he doesn't even remember sleeping with me. Doesn't remember rocking me. A top-tier alpha husband gets a kidnapping threat. All because someone wants his seed. And his bodyguard wife is not taking it well. Aunt Emma is here to pick up Pete and Josie. Wow, Aunt Emma is gorgeous too. The aunt pulls Pete into a warm hug and says he's grown so much. And what a long trip it must have been. Josie says it wasn't bad at all, and that she's still just as ugly as ever. The aunt tells her to shut it. Josie laughs and says, yep, you haven't changed a bit. Good to know. Aunt takes Pete by the hand and says Grandma's waiting at home. Pete can't wait to see Grandma either. He also calls back for his dad to hurry up. Josie laughs and follows along. A week later, Josie is back at the office. Did you drop Pete off? You won't see him again for 6 whole months. Josie says it was rough. Watching her kid cry like that nearly made her break down too. Mark nods and says raising his oldest wasn't easy either. A coworker cuts in. Okay, can we talk about the actual job? So about a month ago, I got a tip. Mark glances around nervously, then leans in and whispers. It's a K warning on C. What? Seriously, I'll see. See the K. When a client is a public figure and secrecy isn't required, they use letters instead of names to avoid leaking information. Here, C stands for chase and K stands for kidnapping. So this is a warning that Chase may be targeted for kidnapping. Mark whispers again. It's a K warning on C. Josie is puzzled. What's going on? Doubtful. If it's a grudge, there's no way to narrow down the suspects. Pretty much everyone who knows him wants him dead. Since C stands for chase, but it also stands for crazy. Well, first suspects of the religious cult and organized crime outfit are obsessed with stalker fan. Could be all of the above. Why would organized crime be involved? Mark says to sell the seed of a top-tier alpha. We'll see. Who happens to be carrying that seed? It's very confused. Everyone wants a child from a top-tier alpha. Get your hands on that seed and you're set for 3 generations. And we're talking about seed. That's the cream of the crop. But don't talk about your alphas need everything planned in advance to conceive. It's not like it can happen just any time. Mark says there are ways around it. If a top-tier alpha doesn't release pheromones within a set window, they start losing it. I'll lock one up and leave him alone for a few days, and he'll completely lose control. At that point, he can't help himself. 权力的根源 Pheromones are the source of a top-tier alpha power at the top of the hierarchy. But if they build up inside the body, they turn into a poison that attacks from within. So they have to release pheromones on a regular schedule. The easiest and most effective way to do that as well, that's the excuse top-tier alphas use to justify their wild personal lives. All in the name of keeping pheromones from building up. Throwing parties around the clock. It's exhausting just to watch. But word is Chase never throws parties at his own place. A coworker scoffs. I was only his bodyguard for 3 or 4 months. What would I know? Josie thinks back. During those 3 months guarding Chase, she never saw him meet anyone, release pheromones, or go to a single party. That's probably why when his heat cycle hit, he completely lost control. And then what happened between us? That was an accident, Chase has been doing since then. I got all worked up the moment he ran into she again. The nickname Mad Dog was well earned. The guy actually pulled the gun on a paparazzi. Before long, Xiaoxian and the crew arrived at Cheesy Villa where the outgoing head of security came out to greet them. He was thrilled to see Mark and the others. Turns out one of their guys had quit, and they couldn't find a replacement, so nobody had gotten a break since. He said even if they couldn't find a team to hand things off to, they'd be back in 6 months no matter what. Thanks for holding it down all this time. So 6 months max, right? Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. The outgoing captain said it wouldn't go any longer than that. That answer made Xiaoxi and the others uneasy for no reason. Xiaoqi glanced around Qi's sprawling estate. One guy living in a place this big. There's a lot of ground to cover. Out here. Then all of a sudden, he caught a scent in the air. Pheromones. Damn, what is that?
It's so strong.
Of course, Xiaoxi knew right away it was Qi's pheromones. Mark was a beta, so he didn't feel a thing. But the other alpha team were getting seriously agitated from the set. Did everyone take their presents today? Ever since I got bonded, other people's pheromones don't really affect me anymore. But that doesn't apply to the person who bonded me. Just the scent he left behind is hitting me this hard. Looks like I'm gonna need to up my suppressant dosage on the job. The outgoing captain pulled out some candy his team always kept on hand. Said it helped dilute the pheromones building up in your system. The candy's got a strong smell to it. It masked the pheromone scent. The second they heard that, everyone scrambled to grab some. While they were all rushing for the candy, the outgoing captain checked the time. He reminded everyone to head to the front gate. Xie was almost there. They lined up at the front gate to welcome Xie. Xiaoxi stood there too, a bundle of nerves. How many years had it been since he last seen Xie? There's no way he remembers me. So why am I so nervous? Xie's car suddenly came to a stop. Mark muttered under his breath, "Oh crap, this is not good." Xie opened the car door, stepped out and reached into his jacket pocket. He shot a glance toward the paparazzi and then, right in front of a stunned Xiaoqi, slowly pulled out what was inside. Xiaoqi stared, confused by what he was seeing. She raised the thing in his hand and aimed it straight at the paparazzi outside. "You can't shoot, Mr. Xie." 快躲开, idiot. He slowly squeezed the trigger. Born from a top-tier alpha and a top-tier omega, the Miller children were pure-blooded elites, and people used different animals to describe each of them. The third son, Jim Miller, went by one name in particular. Mad Dog. Without a moment's hesitation, she fired at the paparazzi and watched him drop without so much as blinking. This was the Miller family's rabbit dog, Che Miller. Flashed a slight unsettling grin, watching with obvious amusement as the paparazzi crumbled to the ground. The camera shattered, and the bullet hit the ground right between the paparazzi's legs. And she was far from done with him. Fun. Mr. Che, stop. Get out of here, you damn vulture. The bodyguard blocked his employer from firing, which ticked the employer off. The employer turned the gun on the bodyguard. Now Xie is unloading on the paparazzi who was snapping photos. Xiaoxi sprints over and grabs the barrel of Qisi's gun before he can react. Well, that's hot. That's really hot. Then he quickly tosses the gun onto the nearby lawn and actually dared to snoop into Qisi's private life. A few years back, a paparazzi who tried to snap compromising photos of Xie ended up. You think nobody would dare follow him after that? What are you still doing here? Get out of here. Paparazzi snaps back to his senses and bolts. He runs so fast it leaves Xiaoqi speechless and startles Xiaoxia. Hey, you got a death wish. I look seriously ticked off. Fix the cold thing. Chisa's pheromones fill the air around. Xiaoqi says no. Then why did you stop me? The pheromones are overwhelming. One wrong word and it feels like he'd snap your neck. But if he's the one who wants me dead, I'd give my life gladly. Get it together, Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi speaks up. I didn't want to get you dirty. At that range, the blood would have splattered all over your face. Your suit would have been ruined. I figured you wouldn't want some paparazzi's blood on you. The other guys behind Xiaoqi are sweating bullets. Xiaoqi catches a look at their faces. They all look like they can't believe what he just said. Qisai crooks his finger, signaling Xi to bring it over. What? Oh, this thing. Qisi watches his obediently picks up the gun. Oh, here you go, Mr. Qisai. Xi takes it. All then pistol whips Xiaoxia across the head. Xiaoxi hits the ground. The others are shocked to see Xiaoxi get hurt. You lunatic, don't talk nonsense in front of me. Qisai presses the gun to Xiaoxi's head and angrily says, "You want to find out? At this range, wonder if the blood will get on me." Xiaoxi stubbornly says nothing and actually pushes his head harder against the barrel. That makes Qisai even angrier. He pulls the trigger. Everyone else is dripping with cold sweat. His eye pulls the trigger a few more times. She stares at the gun at a loss for words. Then, he slams the gun down next to Qiao. Load it and bring it back to me. Bunch of useless. The others finally let out a sigh of relief. They watch Xie storm off. 你又可以去啊。马可以按Qiao好戏 and tells him to get inside and take care of that. Why did you say all that to that maniac? If you just apologized, he wouldn't have hit you. Seriously, why did he say that? Hanley says he just got here and he already wants out. Josiah reminds him he's not going anywhere. Don't forget the triple penalty clause. Okay, shouldn't we be getting hazard pay? We could get beat at any moment. How are we supposed to work like this? He tells him to forget. You have any idea what the Miley family isn't? You forget who their first... That's Niar, Millie, the devil of the legal world. A cold-blooded shark. A cover lawyer who's never lost a case. Bottom line is, nobody gets away from these people. He thought Chase was drowning and jumped in to save him only to get chewed out. The team had just gotten their first real taste of Chase's insane temper. Then the outgoing security captain walked over and asked if they could wrap up and we're just about ready to head out. That line did not go over well with the team that had just lived through all of this. He let out a tired sigh. Everyone spread out and patrolled different areas. Stay safe. No matter what, we pushed through. The whole team groaned. They'd made up their minds. 6 months. They just had to survive 6 months under that madman, Chase Miller. And just like that week went by. Good morning, Dad. Morning, Peachy. You being good? Of course. What about you, Dad? Dad's doing just fine. One week guarding Chase and he still couldn't tell if he was a bodyguard or a butler. They'd received a thick stack of contract rules they had to follow to the letter. Should have had to be confirmed by phone call every morning after he woke up, then delivered to his room. All of the meals were strictly on his schedule when he says, we're not bodyguards, we're babysitters. We can't exactly let the client go hungry. With that attitude of his, who's gonna stick around? Don't speak to him unless spoken to answer every question. Never turn your back on him. Never walk ahead of him. Unless it's an emergency, stay at least 16 feet away at all times. Do we seriously have to memorize all of this? The answer came back, every single word. After a week of following the contract, Seth started losing his hair from the stress. Isaac dropped 15 pounds. Henry tripped and fell in front of Chase, caught a flying phone to the forehead, and needed several stitches. There were way more rules than any of their previous security gigs. He was never this high maintenance before. Xuyaxi asked Pete if Grandma was doing okay. Yeah, but Grandma put beans in the scrambled eggs this morning. Xuyaxi told him beans are what make good kids grow up big and tall. Just then, Seth came to get Xuyaxi for the shift change. Xuyaxi had to wrap up the call fast. Pete asked when Dad was coming home. Eat your beans and your carrots, and you'll get to see Dad real soon. Then I'll eat everything, I'll be good, I promise. Good boy, Pete. Dad will come see you as soon as he can. Seth asked Qiaoxi if he was really that crazy about kids. Qiaoxi told him he'd understand once he had one of his own. Then Qiaoxi got back to work. Done with one patrol loop, time to check the side building. Honestly, this patrol was just going through the motions. The full security system and dozens of cameras were all running. As long as Chase stayed inside, patrol was a breeze. The real problem was Chase's temper. Speak of the devil, Chase showed up right on cue. He spotted Chase floating motionless on the surface of the pool. What the? Was he diving? No bubbles, no movement. Just lying there, completely still on the surface. Was she drowning? She sprinted over screaming Chase's name, but got zero response. He dove in without hesitating and swam straight toward Chase. But the second someone got close, Chase moved. He stood right up, totally fine. He wasn't drowning at all. Chase stood there and shot Xiaoxi that same annoyed, disgusted look. He glared at Xiaoxi and snapped. Are you seriously trying to get yourself killed? Josie gave Xie a piece of his mind after she shoved him underwater. But the moment Josie laid eyes on the stunning, Xie's heart started racing anyway. Josie thought she was drowning and jumped in to save him. Instead, Xie suddenly grabbed Josie by the head. Before Josie could even react, she shoved him straight down into the pool. Josie thrashed around, choking and struggling. Damn, he's strong. He looked up through the water at Xie above his head. And slowly, Xi's twisted expression came into focus. Josie gritted his teeth. This guy seems... He reached back and grabbed the hand Xie was using to hold his head down. And squeezed as hard as he could and bit his lip. Then yanked his hand free from Josie's grip. Josie stood up, coughing hard. She looked at his hand, where Josie had grabbed him. What is wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? You barged into my 5-foot radius. I thought you went under. I thought you were going to drown. What she said flatly, I never asked you to save me. Then what did you hire a bodyguard for? Why not just go die on your own, you lunatic? She said, you think dying is that easy? There's always someone like you getting in the way. Josie let out a short laugh. Isn't that literally why you hired someone like me, to get in your way? If you want to die, find somewhere nobody can see. That way no one can stop you. Josie climbed out of the pool and left Chi standing there, frozen. Josie figured he must have lost his mind. I'd have ever worried about. She stood in the pool looking annoyed as ever, glaring after Josie. Didn't I tell you not to mess with him? You're supposed to keep yourself safe. Josie just smiled. She felt like she'd nearly drowned out there. But wait, does the contract actually say he can beat up his own bodyguard? I don't remember seeing that clause. Mark said it's right there in the contract. Scythe was speechless. Isaac asked if Josie was okay. Josie said she was fine. Mark was stressing about Qi's situation, saying they hadn't even been able to discuss the outing next week. There was an event next week. Apparently it was a costume fitting for an upcoming film. There had recently been a terrorist attack targeting top-tier alphas. Security needed to be tighter than ever. The boss of P Entertainment, Jeez, had been attacked. So the threat against Che was no joke. On top of that, a fan had reportedly snuck into the TV station just to get close to She. Josie suggested bringing in more bodyguards. Mark said he'd already brought it up, but she shot it down. It definitely wasn't about the money. Mark said of course not. I even suggested using K9 units, and he completely lost it for no reason. Nearly took my head off. He sat there in his chair just staring, like he was trying to kill me with his eyes. Mark couldn't figure out why she hated dogs. Aren't dogs supposed to be man's best friend? K9 units are standard practice. Yet she had a particular hatred for dogs. Did something happen to him in the past? All I'm thinking about is how to keep him safe, and she's over here asking pointless questions. She asked if we were all alphas or betas. I told him Josie and I are betas. Everyone else is an alpha. Mark told Josie, with a face like yours, anyone would peg you for an alpha. So Che seemed skeptical. Asked me twice. Josie said she was perfectly happy being a beta. Mark shook his head. With a face like that, how could you have any complaints? Anyway, next week's outing has to go off without a hitch. For the next few days, everyone stay out of She's way and keep your heads down. And just like that, a week, crew was busy going back and forth about outfit and jewelry combinations. What made Josie's heart skip a beat? She had just walked in, looking absolutely flawless. Sure, she had one hell of a temper, but there was no denying he was stunning. She is in a bad mood again today. He came out for a costume shoot and got completely surrounded by fans with no way out. 回避视线, Xuyaoxi looks at how ridiculously handsome she is, and he glances back at her. Their eyes meet for a second and she quickly looks away. I know he's bad news, but the bond makes my heart race every single time. Xuyaoxi quickly pulls out her pheromone masking candy. She's pheromones are way too intense. Without this neutralizer candy, I would have blown my cover a long time ago. Oh my god, people everywhere out there. How she glances at the plaza and her jaw drops. It's wall to wall She fans. Mark says it's even crazier than a few years ago, way more hardcore fans now. Henry is stunned that one quick outing could draw this kind of crowd. Keep the crowd flow under control. If they block the entrance, we'll have to find another way out. The back or the emergency exits. Chuexi says she'll go ask the building manager for a floor plan. On her way back, Isaac catches her with a big grin on his face. He asks Xuyaoxi what she's doing. She says she went to check the building's floor plan. Isaac says he already checked the visitor log. Only the wardrobe team, nobody else. Then there's no need to double check. Good work. Kazak glances at Chi beside him, then suddenly reaches over and brushes a strand of hair away from her ear. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. You had something on your ear. Didn't you say you were going on a family trip after this job wraps up? Yes. Is Pete's mom coming too? Xuyaoxia hesitates, then says she won't know until the job is done. We're still a long way from finishing this assignment. Alright, I see. As Mark's voice comes through the earpiece, things just got worse. He tells her to get to the dressing room. Xuyaoxia radios back that she's on her way with Zach. They walk in to find Shay looking pissed as ever, saying, so we're trapped. The whole building is surrounded. Getting out by car is probably not happening. We need a different plan. An assistant asks Chi if he'd like something to drink. She said, what are you even going to give me? Some crap to apologize, I'm so sorry. Xiaoxi mutters under her breath, what a horrible attitude. But no matter how angry he gets, he can't just release his pheromones like that. It's suffocating. Just then, she locks eyes with her again. Xiaoxi turns her head away again. What's going on? Has he been staring at me this whole time? Then, Seth comes back. Mark, the first barricade has been broken through. Everyone on the security team freezes. 先生等哪些吃够了方能。现在怎么办啊？ What? You're all completely useless. Okay, here's the plan, Mr. Shea. We'll use decoys to pull the crowd away. First car goes out as bait, then the second car follows right after. The second car is actually a decoy too. Fans will assume one of them is fake, but they won't expect both to be decoys. Once the crowd clears, you slip out. She asks her who's going to be my decoy. Mark answers he's asked about your size. He takes the first car. Seth rides in the second. She shoots it down, no way. There's reason Isaac is too ugly. What? Too ugly? Flux, you're the only one. For the build, we'll go with you. It's settled. Sorry, you can't separate the face and the body. You can only pick one. Then you just grow 4 inches on the spot. Xiaoxi is speechless. Sorry, that's not happening. She scowls and snaps. You're all completely worthless. What do I even keep you around for? Xiaoxi is genuinely furious this time. When a mob of Xi's obsessed fans cornered them, she kicked Henry off the helicopter. Now she is throwing a fit about Xiaoxi being too short. Tell me, what exactly can you do? If someone puts a gun to my head, you think that height of yours is gonna block anything? As far as that is, then wear a helmet. Mark says there's no other option right now. If Chi has a better plan, he's all ears. Chi crosses his arms, thinks for a second. Does the building have a helicopter? The assistant says yes, she'll get on it right away. Hey, which one of you can fly a helicopter? What can all of you? Xiaoxi is thinking. Please, Mark, don't bring me up. Mark says both Xiaoxi and Isaac can fly. But Xiaoxi's a better fit. Didn't Xiaoxi fly helicopters in the military? Xiaoxi gives. Fine, I'll do it. The assistant. There's only one helicopter available in the building right now, but the pilot is outside. It'll take a bit to get him in. She says, forget it, we're leaving now. Hold on, I need to check the helicopter first. Just give me a second. Hey, Qi gets angry again. Excuse me. Pre-flight checks are required before we can start it up. The assistant smooths things over and suggests she come up. Xiaoxia is about to say something when the assistant reminds you forget the terms in the contract. You are never to tell Mr. Che to wait. What? The one that says he can breathe and literally nothing else? That's the one. Xu Yaoxi has no choice but to suck it up. Once the group reaches the rooftop, the fans below Spa Qian start. The fans below Spa Qian go absolutely nuts, are blown through, and the crowd is storming the building. Get on the helicopter now. Move it. The crowd is about to flood the rooftop. Xu Yaoqi scrambles through the controls and gets it ready, then yells for everyone to get on. The crazed fans swarm the rooftop like zombies. Henry steps onto the footrest and tells Qiaoxi to take off. But the fans rush forward and grab Henry by the legs. Refusing to let Qi leave, Henry stares at the fans that look absolutely feral. Mark tells Henry to kick them off. The fans hold on so tight, the whole helicopter starts to tilt. Damn it, are you people insane? Let go. Then she walks over and kicks Henry. Just like that, boots him right off the helicopter. The poor Henry falls off, still staring at Shit with a blank look on his face. Mark screams Henry. Mr. Shit. What the hell? She couldn't care less. What are you standing around for? Let's go. What is wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? Not moving. Fine, I'll get off. Then you can take my spot. He keeps pushing her. Safety travels. But Mark has no choice. He tells Qiaoxi to go right now. Qiaoxi is seething, grinding his teeth, but he has to leave Henry behind and fly off. The more Qiaoxi thinks about it, the more furious he gets. He's cursing Qi out in his head and hint out, but his mind lunatic. Because Ches dropped Henry without a second thought. Josie decided to confront Ches directly. Now Henry came back looking like a wreck. He said he was stung. Everyone was worried seeing him like that. The assistant tried to calm him down, saying they'd compensate him and draw up a new contract. Henry wasn't having it. All that hell I had to put up with. You couldn't pay me enough, not even close. You think throwing money at it makes it okay? Out of the sky into a crowd of people. How is anyone supposed to stay calm after that? Was absolutely the worst day of my life, nothing to top that. I want my paycheck by end of day. I'm heading back to Boston right now. And if my return flight isn't first class, I'm suing you. Zach also felt that. Henry could have made it onto the plane just fine. But Ches couldn't wait even a few seconds and just kicked him off. I know. But there was no other choice. If we had left right there, Ches really would have jumped. Honestly, in that moment I thought, if Ches got swallowed up by the crowd, that wasn't really our problem. Right? Henry just drew the short straw this time. It was just rotten luck. Could have been anyone. Any one of us could end up in that situation. And probably will at some point. Josie spoke up. This isn't something Lola can fix. Whatever you promise right now means nothing. Unless Ches agrees to it. We need to talk to Ches directly this time. Isaac agreed. This can't be settled with just Lola's word or money alone. So what do you want to do? You want to negotiate with Ches? Josie was confused. Why not? What are you talking about? You're seriously going to go negotiate with Ches right now? Why not? Josie told Mark not to worry. He could talk to Ches himself. I'm the one who was flying the plane when Harry got dropped. Mark said it wasn't like they had a choice back then. Are we just supposed to sweep it under the rug? It really bothers me that I had to make a call I never wanted to make. I've already said my piece. I'm going to find Ches right now. Mark said he'd keep an eye on Ches's room. Then told Josie to be careful. Josie went to Ches's room. Ches asked what he wanted to say. I need you to apologize for what happened today. And tell me how you plan to handle things going forward. Apologize. This is literally your job. A bodyguard's job is to protect. It does not include putting up with your mood swings or getting assaulted by you. Doesn't the contract say you'll put your life on the line for me? I don't think today's situation was actually a threat to your life. She said it was just a matter of perspective. He was genuinely terrified in that moment. That sent Josie over the edge. He punched the wall. She thought Xiaoxi wouldn't dare hit him, so he kept pushing his buttons. Xiaoxi finally snapped and threw a punch. And just like that, they were going at it. Now Xiaoxi angrily slams his fist into the wall. Why are you punching the wall? Isn't it me you really want to hit right now? Xiaoxi says a bodyguard can't hit his client. She taunts him, so what? Go ahead and hit me. Wait, I can actually hit you. You said that from the start, I wouldn't have wasted my breath. How many shots do I get? Oh, but not the face. You're an actor after all. She stands up. You really want to hit me? Fine, I'll give you the chance. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna go until my arms give out. A chance like this doesn't come twice. Then try it right now, if you've got the guts. For real. You're not gonna come after me for damages later. I said hit me, so hit me. I've got more money than I know what to do with. You think I care about a little scratch? What? Too shaken to do it. All talk, no action. Quit faking. Xiaoqi can't hold back anymore and lands a punch. She winces in pain, coughs, and gets angry. Xiaoxi winds up to throw another punch. She quickly dodges out of the way. She clenches his fist and swings at Xiaoxi, but Xiaoxi blocks it with both arms. I never said I just stand there and take it. He grabs Xiaoxi by the collar and throws a punch at him. At just inches away, Xiaoqi slips under his arm and fires back at Qi. She takes a hit and starts bleeding. He quickly steps back, caught off guard for a moment. Qi stares at his own blood, completely stunned. You're the one who said I could go for it, right? She grits his teeth, you son of a bitch. And as she says it, he charges at Xia. One thing is playing out on the security monitors for their coworkers to see. Their coworkers rush over to break it up. Break it up. Xiaoxi. Stop it. They find Xiaoxi and she tangled up, both of them breathless and still going at each other. Ches wakes up all grumpy and makes Josie treat his wounds. After their fight, the two of them are right back to bickering. Then Ches's brother shows up and the coworker is already helping Josie with his injuries. Mark confronts Josie, why did you hit a client? Isaac jumps to Josie's defense saying Josie got hit too, so they're even. Still, you really did a number on him. Did you not see how hard Josie hit back? While Mark is stressing out, says honestly that was satisfying to watch. Henry asks, why didn't you just go for his throat? Josie says that would have actually killed him. It's all on camera, right? I gotta go check the security footage. Popcorn's in the fridge. Just microwave it for 3 minutes. All nice. Thanks. Everyone watches Henry humming and bouncing out of the room, and figures he's probably not quitting anymore. Mark tells Josie to rest up and says he'll handle the situation with Lola and Chess. The next morning, Josie gets up and says hi to Isaac. Isaac asks how he's feeling. Well, Josie says not bad, then asks how Chess is doing. Isaac says nothing unusual, probably still sleeping. That's with a sigh, I should have thrown a few more punches. Josie says you would have gotten arrested. Just then, Seth's voice comes through the earpiece asking where Josie is. Chess is looking for him and head to his room. Josie feels Isaac in real quick and heads off. Isaac asks, want me to come with? Josie says, nah, I'm good. Mr. Chess, I'm coming in. He opens the door. Heard you were looking for me. But Chess turns and asks, why didn't you come find me yourself? Shouldn't you have been here at the crack of dawn? Where the hell were you? I had to call for you myself. Chess walks over and sits. Josie asks, were you waiting for me? Chess raises his arm, what do you think? So, are you asking me to treat your wound? What should I call a lawyer instead? You gonna pay me back in cash, or in kinda? Josie is speechless, you're the one who said it was okay to hit you. Chess sits down next to the first aid kit and waits for Josie to patch him up. Ha, that's the exact look on Josie's face right now. He rolls up his sleeve. Let me see that arm. Now he sits next to Chess and opens the first aid kit. Chess quietly watches Josie work. The cut isn't deep, it'll heal fast. Chess says nothing, just keeps staring at Josie. Chess can't take his eyes off Josie, watching those focused green eyes of his. Josie looks up and says all done. He catches Chess's expression and freezes. His heart starts racing. Has he been staring at me this whole time? Josie takes in Chess's lips, then the bruised eye above them, still purple from the fight. Oh man, I actually left a bruise on his face. Chess lets out a small laugh and that snaps Josie back to reality. Sorry, I was staring too long. I know you space out every time you look at my face. Josie feels caught, you knew. You really thought I didn't notice. You think I'm as clueless as you? Josie just comes out with it. I like your face, okay? Happy now. What the hell are you talking about? Jack. Josie says nobody in their right mind could like Chess's attitude. Let's just say his taste is one of a kind. This face is mine, and so is the attitude. Josie says sure, it's all part of you. But people get old, looks fade, and all you'll have left is that rotten attitude. Who's gonna like that? Josie says his piece and heads for the door. Chess stands there behind him with a dark look on his face. You'll get old too. Sure, I'm human, but I don't care. Oh yeah, you think you've got a great personality, but without that face would anyone even like you? Josie just shrugs, still better odds than you. Just then the earpiece announces a guest heading to the living room. Josie looks puzzled. A guest? Chess irritated asks what is it? Mr. Chess, you have a visitor. A Grayson Miller. Chess frowns. Meanwhile, Grayson hands his coat out to assist. What's gonna happen now that Chess's brother has arrived? So she had a traumatic experience when he was little. And now his brother brings up his nightmares, ditches the bodyguard, and wants to take she to a party. Today, she's older brother showed up. Long time no see. My dear little brother, Cher was not having it. What a piece of work. Stay with me. Ha! Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors? And then, but... Oh my god, that face is literally the only thing my little brother has going for him. What happened to you? I always knew it would come to this eventually. How many times have I told you to stop picking fights and watch who you mess with? All you've got is that face. You're not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. How do you even land rolls? She couldn't hold back. He clenched his fist and swung at his brother. I told you to stay out of trouble. You want to get dragged back home. Surprisingly, those words stopped Chi cold. Confused, why did she suddenly go quiet? He wondered if these two had some kind of complicated history beyond just being brothers. The brother told Josie to step out for a minute. The two of them needed to talk. That Josie was torn about whether to leave. He looked at Chi's expression. That stiff blank face reminded him so much of his son P. He was worried, but she hadn't said anything, so staying would just be awkward. He said to call him if needed. He'd wait in the hallway. On his way out, he snuck one last glance at Chi's back and told himself it was probably fine. The brother asked what happened to Chi's injuries. Did he lose his temper and get roughed up by a bodyguard? I told him to just get to the point. Why was he here? His brother said Chi's pheromones had built up enough, and he wanted Chi to come with him to a party. She didn't even think about it. Flat out no. Oh yeah, then I'll tell her, Alex had a baby last month. Well, technically, he has a child now. That woman is head over heels for him. Hates dogs. Don't you like birds? Birds are completely useless compared to dogs. You've got some really weird taste. Did you ever track down the person you slept with back then? I didn't think so. If you don't want that happening again, you need to release your pheromones. So, ready to go to that party now. She frowned completely over it. He walked out with his brother looking miserable, and his brother was actually surprised to find Josie really was waiting in the hallway. He told Josie that she was heading out with him. No bodyguard needed. Josie gave Chi a worried look. Oh, the brother turned to Chi, right? She said nothing, suggested at least letting a bodyguard tag along. She refused. Josie started to say something else, and she snapped. Mind your own business and shut up. His brother told Chi to get changed and come out. Then he added, aren't you guys more relaxed when I'm not around? Josie still quietly worried about Chi's safety. The brother tilted his head and asked what his type was. Josie said he was a beta. The brother said that was strange. Did all betas get exposed to radiation lately or something? How come none of them look like a typical beta anymore? She took a ton of meds, got trapped in a nightmare, and turned into Golden Eye Chi. And that had Xiao Sai completely losing his mind. Xiao Xi was now getting hit hard by Xi's pheromones. This guy is releasing so many pheromones. What is he trying to do? This could easily trigger a secondary gender mutation. A moment later, she let out a cold mocking laugh. Looks like you really are a beta. No reaction to my pheromones at all, unless you're a top-tier Omega. I rushed over and said a top-tier Omega showing up here, not a chance. People go their whole lives without ever seeing one. Ma told Grayson that she had already left.
How is that so?
Again, then I'll get out of here too. See you next time. Isaac asked Xiao Cai if he was okay. A top-tier alpha dumping pheromones on the beta. What if he's unlucky enough to actually mutate? These top-tier alphas, I swear. Xiao Xi asked Mark if she had really left. Mark said he took off as soon as he was ready. His brother said not to follow him, and she said the same. We had no choice. All we could do was slip a tracker into his clothes. Hopefully he's in a better mood when he gets back. Usually after an alpha goes to a party and releases some pheromones, they feel a lot better. But she never goes to parties, and the look on his face, I'm just not sure about him. That night, she came back, and he'd taken even more meds. Xiao Xi held up an unconscious Qi, surrounded by his pheromones. The assistant said he took something at the party, so he couldn't stay conscious. Xiao Xi asked if it was harmful to his body. The assistant hesitated. He should be fine. Top-tier alphas can handle drugs and alcohol pretty well. He takes more than most, but it's happened before. He'll be okay. Mark asked Xiao Xi if he was off duty tonight. Xiao Qi said yes, and that he'd keep an eye on Qi, and let Mark know right away if anything came up. Xu Yang Shahao Qi onto the bed, completely out of breath. Why would you take so much? He looked up at the unconscious Qi, sweating, breathing hard, dead to the world. His eyes landed on Qi's slightly parted lips, and his face went red instantly. Get it together, Xiao Xi. Is now really the time to be checking him out? She groaned and tossed around in pain. Was he dreaming? No, please, forgive me. It's all my fault. Save me. Don't do this to me. Don't Niels Taishai. Xiao Xi tried to wake Xi up, but no matter how loud he called, Qi kept thrashing and begging Niels Taishai to stop. He screamed, please, get that dog away from me. Xiao Xi shook him hard, and Qi finally jolted awake. But Xiao Xi froze, because Qi's eyes had turned gold. Even the pheromones in the air had shifted. She reached out and grabbed Xiao Qi, flipped him over, pinned him down, and slowly moved in closer. Xiao Qi asked him what he thought he was doing. Xiao Xi was all thrown off by Shiz, so he decided to take some time off and head home to clear his head. Now Shiz, totally out of it, had just fallen on top of Xiao Xi and was kissing him all over. When Xiao Qi came to his senses, he pushed Shiz off and told him to snap out of it. But with his eyes glowing gold, Shiz was barely conscious. His pheromones were pouring out like crazy. Surrounded by those pheromones, Xiao Qi could barely hold his ground. His hands slowly stopped pushing Shiz away. His mind screamed stop, but the pheromones wiped out every clear thought. Just as things were really heating up between them, Shiz suddenly swayed and collapsed. Xiao Qi shook him. Nothing. Not even a twitch. No way, seriously, did he just fall asleep? He gets me all worked up like this and then just passes out. Xiao Xi wanted to deck him so bad, but he clenched his fist and held back. He sat up on the edge of the bed, held his head in his hands, and tried to breathe through the tension still coiled in his body. Guess I'm on my own here. This is so infuriating. First things first, delete the security footage, then deal with myself. Then again, hopefully nobody saw any of that. I couldn't push him away again. That's on me. I know exactly how Shiz gets when he takes that stuff. Taking a break is probably the right call right now. So that's how Xiao Xi ended up at his mom's place. His mom vacation with peanut arms beaming as she welcomed him home. Daddy, I missed you so much. How have you been, Mom? All Xiao Xi could think was whether his son had gotten taller. His mom told him to just rest while he was home. Xiao Xi said he had to head back the next evening, just one night. The client's a big name, so work's been crazy. Daddy's leaving already. Xiao Xi promised he'd be back soon. He couldn't get enough of his son, and he meant every word. After spending all that time around Shiz, he couldn't help but notice how much Pete looked like him. Would Pete differentiate into an alpha, just like Shiz? He imagined Pete all grown up, 16 years old, acting just like Shiz, saying something like, "Stay out of my business. Get lost." That made Xiao Qi break into a cold sweat. Please just inherit the looks and nothing else. Mom asked him to help pull weeds in the garden. Xiao Xi was more than happy to. He told Pete to go play with Grandma for a while. Happily ran off. His sister mentioned that since this job was close to home, their mom seemed genuinely happy. Xiao Qi said who knows when he'd get another break like this. Mom pulled me aside and quietly asked, "Are you seeing anyone?" Xiao Qi really did not want to go there. His sister offered to set him up, or suggested maybe there was someone at work. She said office romances are never a good idea. His sister called him out. The whole thing about Pete's dad being unreachable was a lie, right? Well, someone as disciplined as you wouldn't just accidentally get someone pregnant. And never reaching out to him all this time. That's just weird. Xiao Xi said he wasn't all that disciplined. He just felt no need to meet up again, and he didn't want anything more from him. Besides, don't forget, before I differentiated, I was one of the most popular quarterbacks in high school. I'd break up with one girlfriend at lunch, and get confessed to by another girl by the time school let out. His sister gave him a look and called him a total player. His sister asked if he ever wanted to date anyone again. Xiao Qi said he just wanted a quiet life, no more kids either. Xiao Xi had always dated women. Chiz was a total fluke. And of course the woman he ever actually fell for had to be. He thought Chiz had the worst temper of anyone he'd ever met, basically always angry about something. Would Pete grow up curious about who his dad was? Xiao Qi said there are plenty of single-parent families out there. Pete would come to accept it naturally as he got older. He figured Chiz would just keep living free the way he always had. Then the memory of what happened with Chiz the day before crept back in, and he told his sister he just wasn't ready to date anyone right now. Fine, if that's how you feel. Xueao kept thinking he should have just punched Chiz the moment he kissed her. He took this break to forget about him, but thanks to that kiss, his mind just wouldn't let it go. Stupid Xiaoxi, you're such a sucker for a pretty face. Once this job is done, I'm moving east. I'm not coming back anywhere near home. Chiz woke up starving, his stomach growling like crazy. He headed out to Josie to make him something to eat. But Chiz lost the battle of words again today. Josie's back from vacation now. Henry happily said Josie looks so much better. Josie said he hasn't seen Pete in forever. Really happy about it. Oh shoot, it's time for shift change. See you in a bit. Turns out Henry had copied the video of Josie beating up Chiz. He pulls it up to watch every now and then. That's why he's been in such a great mood lately. Said he spent the past couple days playing hanging around the house. Isaac could relate. Same thing happened when he went home all over the place. He hesitated, then said we missed you. Josie brushed it off. He said he needed to go find Mark and let him know he's back. Isaac reminded him that Mark's in the dining room having lunch. Come to think of it, why hasn't anyone mentioned Chiz? Has he been resting ever since that day? That day, Chiz just felt completely dizzy. He tried to make out the person in front of him. But he couldn't see the face clearly. He's trying to get a good look at their face. And then he jolted awake. And sunlight was pouring into the room. He still hadn't fully come to. Chiz, are you awake? It's Lola. Have you read the novel they're adapting for the film? It's a pretty well-known book. Chiz said up. What's today's date? Last time he got knocked out, it took 3 days before he came around. He remembered Josie helping him out. He quickly checked himself off. Nothing bad happened this time, right? Everything looked fine. It seemed like he was okay. He let out a sigh. And then his stomach started growling. He figured he should eat something first. But nobody answered the call bell. He pressed it a few more times, then started hammering it like crazy. Why the hell aren't these useless bodyguards picking up? He was so fed up he stormed out, slamming the door behind him. He pays them all that money. On call 24/7. We're a bunch of deadbeats. They're probably sitting around watching TV and slacking off. That's when he spotted Josie, who had just gotten back. Exactly, just like this idiot. Why isn't anyone answering my call? You're all useless. Chiz, what brings you to the kitchen? Chiz let out a sigh and said, Food.
Is that so hard to understand?
You should stare for that. Josie said he'd get right on it. Chiz sat down at the dining table. While watching Josie get the food ready, he kept staring at you, wondering why someone with a face like that would be a bodyguard. Shouldn't he be the one being protected? Josie was puzzled by why Chiz kept staring at him. Alright, he probably doesn't like soybeans either. Chiz asked what Josie was doing. You're not poisoning my food, are you? I'm just making you breakfast. If I wanted to poison you, I would have done it ages ago. In your previous meals. You've probably been waiting for a chance to cook for me yourself. And you're actually giving me that chance. What an honor. Keda, should I put the poison on the steak or on the fork? Whatever you prefer. I'm happy to oblige. Chiz got mad. This trick has no self-awareness whatsoever. Like his temper is any better than mine. Josie asked what he wanted to drink. Chiz told him to shut up. Josie turned around and told Chiz to hold on a second. He dumped soybeans on top of the steak. Forgot to add the poison. Once you eat this, maybe you'll calm down a little. Chiz was furious. Do you actually have a death wish? If you killed me in bed, I die happy. Chiz was angry. What did you just say? Okay, that joke went too far. Chiz suddenly reached out. Josie braced himself, thinking he was about to get hit. Chiz just leaned in close. Is he all smelling meat? Chiz is finally starting to suspect Josie's true identity. At the banquet, he seems to have remembered what that person looked like. Does he actually know that Josie is the same person from years ago? Now Chiz suddenly pulls Josie close and sniffs him. Josie panics, thinking, did I take my meds just now? Wait, I think I took them last night. I take them today. Damn, I can't remember. Josie quickly makes up an excuse then. I don't know. It's almost time for the shift change. Watches Chiz's expression carefully. Did he figure it out? He probably didn't notice. My scent is barely there to begin with. Sure enough, Chiz didn't catch it. He lets him go. Chiz eats his meal, thinking must have been my imagination. He just kinda looks like that guy, that's all. The letter was sent to Chiz's talent agency. The original was handed over to the investigator. This is a copy. Mark says the top priority right now is keeping Chiz safe at the upcoming film promotion banquet. And Gus Pittman, who was just attacked, will also be at the event. Mark starts assigning roles for the banquet. The day of the banquet arrives, and Hollywood's biggest names are all gathered at Pittman's mansion. So will my sister Emma be there today? She's Pittman's secretary. She's probably getting run ragged by that hot-headed boss of hers today too. Just then, Mark signals that Chiz has arrived. Fence starts screaming. Camera flashes are going off. Even Josie is stunned by Chiz with his black hair. Henry mutters that lunatic is actually pretty hot. Mark explains that Chiz dyed his hair black for the role. Just then, Josie notices Pittman moving toward Chiz. Why does Pittman have a mark on his ear? He asks if Pittman is married. Henry says someone bonded with Pittman and then just vanished. It happened during his heat set, and now he's been searching everywhere. If he never finds someone, he'll probably just scroll along. 想到皮特曼会有这样的下场，还说找到就杀了他。Josie feels like they're talking about him, even though the situation is completely. At least I'm the one who got bonded. Top-tier alphas really do have purple eyes. Supposedly they turn gold during rut. Chiz just finds it all exhausting. Everyone treats me like some red exotic animal on display, like I'm some sleep. And on top of that, now there's someone who never stops bugging me. He was visually staring at me but still calls me difficult. Yet he's obsessed with my face. Shameless. Just then, a woman comes looking for Chiz. But she strikes up a conversation saying she's in the same mood. I've really been hoping to meet you. This is my first time meeting a top tier. Chiz frowns. What does she want? I just ran into Pittman. But you're really stunning. When I heard Chiz was the lead, I immediately begged the director for a supporting role. Can we talk about the film? I'm a huge fan of you. I know the source material. The woman releases her pheromones. Chiz asks her, are you an omega? She says yes. Then she releases a wave of pheromones. The scent makes Chiz's stomach churn. Chiz turns to leave, telling her to get out of his way. The woman tries to grab him. Chiz shakes her off in disgust. Back off! What do I care if you're my fan? I can't stand omegas. The laughter from the crowd leaves the woman mortified, ignoring her cries. Chiz walks away. Chiz thinks he's absolutely had. Once outside, Chiz starts throwing up. Then he's left gasping for air. He leans against a tree and pulls out a cigarette. God, this is miserable. He slowly starts to calm himself down. But then he hears movement nearby. Oh, it's just Josie on patrol. Chiz, what are you doing out here? At that moment, Chiz is suddenly stunned. The face he could never quite make out in his memory takes the shape of Josie's face. Has Chiz finally remembered? The person he's been looking for has been right in front of him all along. A new character enters the scene, Xu Yanyu. So, what exactly made Qiao and Qian so close? 30 minutes ago, Qiao headed out on patrol. Too many people, too big a house, a security guard's worst nightmare. That Qiao spotted someone getting sick. Was he a party guest? He didn't look so good. Are you okay? You don't look well, you need me to call an ambulance. Qiao called the scent pheromones, an omega. The guy said no, he was fine. Went over and helped him to his feet. Qiao thought he looked like a lost phone. Had to be a guy, right? Pitman showed up, getting in the guy's face. What are you doing out here? He was giving him a real nasty look. I asked you, what are you doing out here? The guy explained he felt dizzy and needed some fresh air. Qiao figured these two must know each other. Thanks for the help. If you're busy, go ahead and take off. Qiao told him to take care of himself, though he was still a little worried. Oh, I never told you my name. I'm Xu Yanyu. I'm Jiao Shu. Everyone calls me Qiao Shi. Good to meet you, Yanyu. Qiao could tell those two had something going on, but it wasn't his place to get involved. He had a garden to patrol. He kept moving and that's when he spotted Chase leaning against a tree. What's he doing out here? Where's his detail? Shouldn't Isaac and Henry be covering him? Wait, something's off with Chase. Chase called him an idiot and told him to get lost. Bao Xi shot back that protecting him was literally his job. Feels like a dog waiting on his owner.
Not really a dog person.
Can I be a cat instead? The moment Qiao said it, he caught Chase staring him down dead serious. Qiao quickly said he was just messing around. He knows Chase's hands were shaking. Chase asked if he wanted one too. Qiao turning down. Chase said he used to smoke, didn't he? Yeah, but I quit. Wait, how did he know I used to smoke? He actually remembered. This guy remembered me. Asked how long Chase had known, how he could possibly remember that. Chase shrugged. Hard to say. Does it matter? That's when Xie picked up an Omega's pheromones. Did he hook up with an Omega at the party? Chase caught the Omega's scent and suddenly started throwing up again. Miller, are you okay? Want me to call an ambulance? Back off, I'm fine, leave me alone. What is he even talking about? He could barely breathe. Qiao tried to radio Marcus, but all he got was static. Looked like the Omega's pheromones were causing a fever response. If pheromones need to be released, why not just let them out? At this rate, he's going to pass out. Qiao said he needed to release those pheromones now. There's no time to call anyone. Let me help you. Chase asked what exactly he meant by help. There. Get your hands off me. Don't touch me. You son of a bitch. Chase wasn't even done cursing before the dizziness hit him hard, cold sweat pouring down. It's that Omega's fault, marking me with their pheromones without my consent. That's why I'm like this. Why won't that Omega scent go away? This guy is clearly a beta. Just still pressed. Did you want help sorting this out? Qiao started helping Chase through it. He really is gorgeous from every angle. Both of them flash hearts pounding, eyes locked on each other. Chase and Josh are staring at each other with pure heat in their eyes. Josh cups Chase's face in his hands. He tells Chase he's okay. Josh slowly leans in toward Chase. Just as he's about to kiss Chase, he hears someone approaching. Josh stands up and says, hold on a sec. He walks over and sees its mark. Josh, there you are. Isaac and Henry are both MIA. Not responding to the radio. They abandoned their post. No idea where they went. And I lost track of Chase too. Can you find him? Josh tells Mark not to worry. Chase stepped out for a smoke and told me not to follow him. I've been keeping an eye on him from a distance. Mark asks him what he needed when he called earlier. Josh says it was nothing. Already handled it. Pitman had to leave early. Check with Chiz and see if he wants to head home now. With that, Mark heads off, saying he's going to track down Henry and Isaac. Josh turns back to check on Chiz, and sees Chiz has already straightened himself out, standing there lighting a cigarette. What? You got something to say? Pitman left early. If you're heading back, get the car ready. Chiz looks at Josh, unreadable expression on his face. Get the car. Josh acknowledges. Mark, bring the car around now. Chiz is heading home. Josh watches Chiz. Totally unrecognizable from the man he was just moments ago. He looks like nothing even happened. It suddenly hits Josh. Wait, am I actually disappointed right now? God damn it. What if Chess's pheromones are making me run hot? Just then, they hear a dog barking. It startles Chiz. He visibly flinches. Nobody said you'll be out at the party tonight. Sounds like it's not close by though. Sorry about that. Did the barking startle you? Paparazzi out there. So we brought in a few guard dogs. They're all well trained. Nothing to worry about. Chiz is irritated. He tells the bodyguard to get the car over here now. Josh says he's on it. Wait, what's going on? Chiz doesn't seem to dislike us. He's scared of them. Back at base, Mark is tearing into Isaac and Henry for going out, making them both write up incident reports. He's not letting them off the hook this time. Josh's body is starting to run hot. Thank God it's not a full heat cycle. He needs to take a suppressor. Josh, why are you covered in pheromones? Smells like Shaz's pheromones. And it's really strong. Did something happen while I was gone? Josh tells him this is exactly why. Isaac apologizes, says he meant to come right back. Never thought Josh would run into Shiz. You're literally soaked in Shaz's pheromones right now. Josh tells Isaac to move. Isaac watches helplessly as Josh walks away. Josh frantically digs through his bag for his suppressants, thinking he's going to have to up the dosage. He takes the suppressant right away, but the heat in his body just won't go down. Josh stumbles to his feet and rushes to the bathroom, turning on the shower to cool down his overheating body. But damn it, the heat just won't break. Just as Josh's head is spinning, he hears the door open. It's Yusashi, and he walks right in on Josh like this. Seth figured out Josie's secret. Josie wanted to set his sister up with Yan Yu, but Chiz was secretly jealous of both Josie and his sister. Meanwhile, Josie was trying to cool down with cold water when Seth walked in. I need to know what happened at that party. You okay? Want me to tell Mark you're not feeling well and need a day off? I'm fine, just a bit of a headache. But you're getting off a strong pheromone scent right now. Blaming it on Chez's pheromones, Seth would never buy that. You barely have any pheromone scent normally. Did your suppressant stop working, or is it your heat cycle? If you're going into heat, there's nothing I can do for you. I'll go sleep somewhere else. Josie was confused. You know what? Seth said he'd accidentally seen the meds in Josie's bag 3 years ago. Josie asked why he never said anything. Same reason you never told me you knew I was an alpha. Does anyone else on the team know? Just me. Don't worry. If Mark knew, he wouldn't have brought you along. Isaac is so clueless. He definitely has no idea. And Henry, he doesn't care about anyone else. Seth told Josie to stay put. He goes sleep in another room. He also asked how long Josie's heat would last and whether he should move his stuff out. Don't worry about it. It's not my heat cycle. It's Chez's pheromones getting to me. I took some meds. I'll be fine soon. Josie thanks Seth. Seth said don't mention it. Josie let out a relieved sigh. The next day, Shiz had a visitor. Josie came out to greet them. When he saw who it was, they both froze. Wait, the visitor was Emma. Was she Pittman's secretary? Hello, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Pittman to discuss the shoot. Josie said he'd been notified and told her to come in. Hello, Mr. Shiz. I'm Emma Bailey, Mr. Pittman's secretary. Mr. Pittman sent me to confirm a few things. Thank you for attending the banquet last night. Chez looked out of it, like he hadn't slept at all. I left early. What are you even talking about? Mr. Pittman wanted to know if you experienced any discomfort. We heard there was a bit of an incident. Chez caught on. She must be talking about that Omega situation. We start shooting next week. We hope you'll take it seriously and be fully prepared for filming. Everyone is really looking forward to your doctor role. Chez said tell Pittman to mind his own business. He'd forget what happened at the banquet. Emma thanked Chez for his understanding and excused herself. On her way out, she ran into Josie. Josie apologized for not giving her a heads up. Emma told him not to worry about it. She got it. Emma asked what had happened at the banquet last night. Josie said he had no idea. He was outside on patrol the whole time. Oh, by the way, at the banquet last night I saw your boss with some guy. Josie wondered, was that guy also one of Pittman's people? He had a soft door. Totally Emma's type. Speaking of which, are you seeing anyone these days? Why are you asking? If you're trying to set me up again, forget it. Josie said it was Emma's fault for always picking the wrong guys. I told you I'm not into the athletic type. When I find someone I like, I'll handle it myself. Josie thought to himself. Emma was clearly into pretty delicate love. This is that guy in your department. Emma cut him off impatiently. Josie, please don't mess this up again. We've been on a few dates, and he's into me. I'm not a teenager anymore. Please, just stay out of it. Josie had no choice but to agree. They hugged goodbye. Before she left, his sister told him to call Pitt. She said Pitt waited for his call every day. Suddenly, Josie felt something. He turned and looked toward Chez's room. Why do I feel like someone's watching me? Chez was annoyed. His assistant asked what was wrong. He said nothing. The meds you requested will be ready by the end of the week. Chez asked about that beta. On the security team, the assistant asked if he meant the team captain or Josie. Chez hesitated for a moment. Never mind. You can go. He picked up the meds and zoned out for a bit, then just tossed the handful back without thinking. Told himself. Zhao Houji was such a reckless guy. As long as someone's good look, anyone will do. No, who he messes around with is none of my business. What happened was just an accident. But in sense of his, what makes me any different from Grayson or the other top alphas? If my body wasn't affected by pheromones, none of this would have happened. Damn it. She actually used his own face to test whether Qiaoxi would fall for him. Like, how could Qiaoxi possibly resist? That night, while Qiaoxi was on patrol, he called Pete. Pete, have you eaten yet? Yeah, I ate with Auntie and Grandma, but Grandma put soybeans on Pete's plate. Qiaoxi promised to make him something good next time. Just then, Qiaoxi heard a noise and quickly hung up. He went to check it out. Why was he lying out here? If you're gonna keep lying there, I can grab you a blanket. And no sack. Being this close to him, he's actually this quiet. Qie told him to go ahead and look. You think it's weird, don't you? Then go ahead, take a good look. Go brag to everyone about how strange a top-tier alpha looks up close. Qiaoqi said he would never do that. Commenting on a client's looks or personal life goes against my professional code of ethics. Qi crooked his finger and beckoned Qiaoxi over. When Qiao stepped closer, she asked him how about it. Want a kiss? Just as Qiao's heart was racing and he was about to cave, she suddenly let out a cold laugh. So you just go along with anyone who gets close to you? Qiao got angry and pushed Qi away. He was just testing me this whole time. I should get out of here. She said, do whatever you want. But Qiao turned and walked away, cursing Qi under his breath. Qi watched Qiao lost in thought. It reminded them that leaking or privately discussing the contents of this meeting would result in a massive breach of contract pending. Mark said nobody here is like that. The assistant said Che takes medication regularly, not just during a fever episode, but all the time. Whenever he's under stress or going through a rough patch, he always takes something. Sleep aids, sedatives, suppressants, you name it. Once filming starts, he takes them even more often. If he weren't a top-tier alpha, he probably wouldn't have made it this far. Qiao asked if he could just stop taking them. The assistant answered, without them, he can't sleep at all, and his temper gets even worse. Oh my god, it can get even worse than this. When he's running low, I'll restock. And just in case, I put together a full medication list. Mark asked anything else we should know. But the assistant said that's everything. Keeping things from us could create serious gaps in his security. The assistant insisted there was really nothing else. Stressed that everything discussed had to stay confidential, then went off to prep for the next day. Cut to the film set. The crew was buzzing. She is even more stunning in person. Are all top-tier alphas this jaw-droppingly good-looking? The dark hair makes him look even more striking. When she wasn't talking, he really did look like an angel. But the props guy thought they were all annoying. A bunch of looks-obsessed lunatics. You're just jealous he's better looking than you. It's only hot on the surface. You have no idea how wild top-tier alphas get to you. It's because pheromones build up and cause problems. Nice excuse you've got there. I heard he's hooked up with all kinds of people. No way he'd go that far just because he's single, right?
Seriously?
Is that why he hates dogs? Because of those rumors?
Could that really
The
be
way he
it?
reacted back then didn't look like hate. It looked more like fear. She had been off his game all day on set, and then he just collapsed and stopped breathing. During a break, his assistant handed him some water, but it had a weird smell. She caught a whiff and nearly gagged. He pushed it away. It smelled like an Omega. His assistant was confused. The contract clearly stated no Omega crew members were allowed to touch Chi stuff. When she stepped out, he spotted Qiao chatting it up with one of the crew. Mr. Miller, is there something you need? He ignored him completely, walked right past Qiao like he wasn't even there. After that day, he treated me like I was invisible. She got in his trailer, took off his jacket and sat there brooding. Why does he have to be such an eyesore? God, he's so annoying. That's when he noticed a pill bottle on the table. Are these new meds? He grabbed the bottle, shook out a handful, and just tossed them all back at once. He figured whatever, the contract's almost up anyway and he'd never have to see that guy again. The director came back and said the building would be rigged to blow from the bottom up. On the third explosion, they jumped from the second floor onto the airbag. After the rundown, the director had the true leads do a quick rehearsal. We might actually get roasted alive out there. Tonight's dinner might not be steak. It could be us. But she didn't seem to hear a word his star said. Qiao could tell something was off with Xi. He pulled Mark aside. Mark said he seemed pretty much the same as always to him. Yeah, I might just overthinking it. The director called everyone to positions. Rehearsal was starting. Most productions like this just use CGI these days. Hey, Xi, don't tell me you're scared. Jump on the third explosion, okay? Don't overthink it. She said nothing. Is this that famous Miller family arrogance? Just standing there pretending not to hear me. The first explosion went off, way louder than I expected. He asked Chi if he was ready. She noticed something was wrong with Chi and screamed, Che, what's happening to you? Snap out of it. We have to jump right now. With a massive boom, showed Chi back for a second. Please just stay with me. We gotta go. The second explosion hit. She pressed her hands over her ears and screamed, Chi. Chi finally snapped back. He grabbed her hand fast. The third explosion went off. Mark and Seth were still debating the practical shoot. Then they noticed Chi seemed to be coming out a little late. Chi stared anxiously at the burning building. Why aren't they out yet? Weren't they supposed to jump on the third explosion? Something's wrong. I have to go in there right now. Over there, they're out. Then he saw the two of them leap out of the building. He had one hand over his head and was pulling her out with the other as they jumped. The director called cut and the crew rushed over immediately. You two okay? Get them water and blankets. Watched Che with a worried look on his face. The female lead's assistant helped her down and she turned around and glared at Xia. Gee, what the hell was that? We almost died in there. But she had already zoned out again. She called him a jerk and stormed off. He kept watching Xi, studying closely. Xi, what is going on with him? Then she started swaying and just, boom, hit the ground. Qiao sprinted over and shook him gently. Qi, wake up. But she had stopped breathing. Mark, call 911 now. The assistant said they couldn't call an ambulance. I'm calling his personal doctor right now. They'll send a helicopter. 我去啊 CID, CPR, and I just kept thinking, come on, please breathe. After taking the medication, Chess's condition got really bad. The trip back was a total mess. They even got shot. Chess passed out. She even stopped breathing. Turns out she had overdosed on her medication. Miss Naomi also mentioned that Chess suddenly zoned out on set. And not bring up the medication on set. The doctor came out and said Miller had regained consciousness. He told everyone to relax. Nothing bad was going to happen here. It's a good thing Chess is a top tier alpha. That's the only reason she made it. A regular person would have been dead 10 times over. She's been taking way too many meds. I watched him about it before. I knew something like this would happen eventually. I need to run some tests. to see if we should switch or reduce all the security team members alphas and beta. Mark said it's only alphas and betas. You all worked hard out there. I'll go run the checkup now. Lola take them to the lounge. Josie thought the doctor seemed a little off. But the assistant had mentioned the medication before and something felt wrong about it. If it really was an overdose. Mark asked where the chocolates came from. Henry said the nurse just left them. That brand is seriously expensive. Like a few hundred apiece. That much? They look like regular chocolates. Want some, Josie? Josie was in no mood. Mark told him to slow down. Kept thinking. She should have stepped in the moment something felt off. She almost wished she'd never known. At least then it wouldn't hurt this much. What is wrong with me right now? In the office, the doctor began treating chess. You probably already know the drill, since you do this all the time. Grayson said. Bliss went to England, trying to protect his precious little boy, I suppose. Would have been real bad if something happened between brothers. A top-tier Omega born into a top-tier Alpha family, put through all that suffering. What a shame. Our chess told him to drop the act. Deep down, you wanted us to go through with it. To you, that kid is just a test subject. If one of us had gone after that kid, you'd have been thrilled. The doctor said he genuinely wanted to help Chess, whether it's her or Bliss. He came to me on guard, but I'm guessing you had no other choice. Grayson had said before that Chess hates dogs and hates him. Do you hate all animals? Chess asked if she had to answer. No, just curious. I'll prescribe something temporary while we wait for the test results. You'll space out more than usual since this is your first time on this medication. And your body hasn't adjusted. Your memory won't be affected, but your awareness might get foggy. When it came out, everyone was waiting by the door. The doctor said that because Chess is on the new medication, she may be in rough shape for the next few days. She might space out, be slower to react than usual, and look like she can barely keep her eyes open. Her memory is fine, but there's on downside. If she experiences something terrifying in this state, her body will be completely frozen. But the memory of it will stay with her perfectly intact. Basically, it's like having a nightmare with your eyes wide open. The brain of a top-tier alpha is really something else. That's just my take as both a doctor and a researcher. Oh, are you taking Highway 24 on your way back? I hear there are coyotes on that road all the time. Is that the problem? Right, what could go wrong? Safe travels, everyone. Josie listened to the doctor with a troubled look on her face. On the way back, an alert came in. If I had broken on the north side of the highway, no choice but to reroute. In the car, Chess was still out cold. A little while later, it looked like there was an accident up ahead. She was blocking the road. They completely cut off the path. Only way through was to round the road. Otherwise, there was no getting past. Seth got out and asked what was going on. The person said their car and asked if they could help. Josie, what's going on? Up there. A couple's car broke down, blocking the road. Something felt off to Josie. Or the car blocking the road. The woman saying nothing. The man pretending to fix the car that just pulled up behind them. Something's wrong, Seth. Get back in the car. But it was too late. The guy pulled out a gun and fired at Seth. But Chis took his meds, and he was feeling pretty rough. When Josie and the group headed back into enemy vehicles and gunfire, Josie snapped back to it and yelled at Seth to get in the car. But it was too late. Seth reacted fast though, pulled out his gun, and dropped the enemies in seconds. Josie, back up now. Josie yanked the wheel and threw the white car into reverse. Henry in the car behind asked Josie what was going on. Henry, don't roll your window down, it's an ambush. Seth is still out there. Oh, damn it. Isaac told Henry to open the sunroof. Henry ran them, pushed them back. Isaac, get revenge for Seth. Seth called out from behind the car. I'm not dead yet. Henry made it clear. Anyone who touches him is done. Bunch of Just then, a big truck cut off the white car from behind. Josie looked back to assess the situation. Mark told Josie to floor it. Josie threw it in gear and punched it forward. But then the earpiece crackled. Henry's not right. Snap out of it. Henry was slumped over the wheel, shaking. His head was spinning, and he was fading. Then suddenly, Henry jerked his head up, spun around, and grabbed Isaac by the throat, scaring Mola in the backseat too. Henry, snap out of it. What the hell is going on? Josie saw Henry's car start to swerve. This can't keep going. We're all gonna die. Josie yanked the wheel, trying to shake the truck behind them. But the enemies opened fire. The guys on the truck lit up their car with gunfire. Josie, Chess is in bad shape. The doctor warned that the new meds Chess took would hit him hard. Chess, Miller, can you hear me? Damn it, we have to ditch that truck. But the car was leaking fuel from the hits. If this keeps up, everyone's going to get caught. The rear window got blown out. Mark shielded Chess. Mark, get down. Josie reached for her gun and pulled it out, firing back at the guys behind them. Mark kept an eye on Chess and drew his own gun. He unloaded several shots straight at the truck's tire. Josie seized the moment and yanked the wheel hard, making a sharp turn away from the truck. On them. But damn, looks like a blow-on. Josie saw they were stuck and thwarted straight into the truck. The truck started rocking and tilting, then rolled over. They did it. The truck's down. We need to go full speed. Fuel's almost gone. We won't last much longer. Once the car ran, Chess got out and threw up behind the car. Josie handed him a bottle of water. Drink this. You need to stay hydrated. The car's out, so driving back isn't enough. Chess said he could see that. Smart guy. Mark said the GPS in the car was busted. He'd go ahead and scout for another route. It might be a long walk, But there's no choice. They had to find help. All comms are down. Chess's manager should have already made a move. Probably sent out a search team by now. Stay here and keep Chess safe. The meds might not have worn off yet. Chess climbed back into... Josie asked if she was doing okay. And if I'm not. You want me wandering around lost with no clue where I'm going? Just stop talking and close the door. That left both bodyguards completely speechless. Mark told Josie to get moving. Watch yourself. Chess sat in the car waiting for rescue. Looking annoyed but completely stuck. Single-handedly protecting his husband. Taking on a whole pack of wolves. Now what's Xiaoxi digging around for in the trunk? He knocks on the car window next to Xi, hands him a blanket and says, "Hair, cover up. It's cold tonight," but Xi, being his stubborn self, turns his head away. "Fine, suit yourself." Xiaoqi shakes the blanket open right next to the pouty Xi, and then just ignores him and wraps it around himself. Xi sits there freezing, cursing under his breath. Xiaoxi sneaks a glance at Xi and catches him red-faced and breathing hard. Xi looks back at Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi's husky is a bitch. He thinks no wonder this guy gets by on his looks alone. Even when you're being difficult, just take a blanket on. She stares at Xiaoxi. Qiu asks if he has something to say, but she just tells him to shut the door if he's got nothing going on. She shuts the door and tells himself to stop expecting anything from this guy. Wait, he looks back at Xi inside the car. Did he just get played? Xi is woken up by the counting. Turns out Xiaoxi's out there doing push-ups. She gets out and asks what he's doing. Oh, you're up, Mr. Miller. She says, "I'm asking Xiaoxi a question to tell. I was told, so I'm working out." She freezes. His expression goes completely blank with him. Did that actually catch him off guard? No way, that can't be it. That look was probably just irritation. Xiaoxi figures, maybe you should just keep working out. Hey, you over there. You, did you not hear me talking to you? Xiaoxi turns up. What? What's your deal? You got something to say to me. Why does he keep trying to talk to me? Xiaoxi hesitates for a second. How exactly do you remember me? She looks confused. Xiaoxi hadn't meant to ask so bluntly, but it just slipped out in a moment of frustration. She thinks about that dream he had. He still can't tell what's real and what wasn't. If he says it out loud, will Xiaoxi think he's weird? Like everyone else does. Like he hates parties. Is this really the top alpha? The top alpha. This quiet. Before Qi can even answer, coyotes show up. Actually, no. They're completely surrounded by a pack of wolves. The pack is eyeing them like they're fresh meat. Oh no. Is there anything around he can use as a weapon? All he can find is a tire iron. Miller, when I give you the signal, you almost forgot. She is terrified. The doctor said, with the medication she's on, something that scares him can make him completely freeze. Mr. Miller, snap out of it. They're not dogs. The Miller. She's hitting the car now. The wolves are baring their teeth. She can't move at all. One wolf lunges at them. She grabs the tire iron and cracks. The wolf goes down. But the rest of the pack charges at them. One of them goes straight for Xi, who still can't. Qiao dashes over and throws himself in front of Xi. She tumbles back into it. Qiao blocks the car door. Xi's eyes go wide, staring at Qiao as a wolf latches onto Qiao's arm. Qi was deeply scarred by his home life. He found that Qiao had been watching over him the whole time, keeping the wolves at bay. Now Shizai crashed into the car and watched in horror as Qiao got bitten by a wolf. He slammed it to the ground. Shizai stared at Qiao's arm, bleeding badly. Shizai into the car and faced the pack alone. 携手逼那儿在龙。Qi watched Qiao with no, I have to help him. The medication made everything worse. The sight of coyote fangs made it hard for Qi to breathe. Those vicious eyes flashed in his mind and he started to choke up. Then he watched Tuzi collapse right in front of him. Dreamed of his oldest brother's cold indifference when they were kids. His brother told him, "Qi, you're so weird." But Qi was in tears. He said, "Grayson, my little bird is sick." His second brother snapped back that it wasn't sick, it was dead, and he should just throw it away. Then he reached over, snatched the bird right out of Sha's hands, and tossed it in the trash in front of her. He ran over and shoved his brother back. "Don't throw it away!" His brother shot back, "It's dead. Dead things get thrown out." The oldest brother told the other to leave Shisai alone, saying he was always like this. Qiao cradled the bird, tears streaming down his face. Why is it weird to be sad? My bird died. I'm heartbroken. What's so strange about that? 小鸟死了, Sai carried the bird to his dad. "Dad, my bird died." But Grayson threw it in the trash and called me weird. But Neil said it was my fault too. Was it really my fault? Am I really that weird? But his dad just said the bird was useful. But it was beautiful and it sang. His dad just shrugged. So what? Chisa still wanted to explain. His dad just ruffled his hair and said he'd buy him a new one. And just like that, his dad walked without another word. It stung deep. His brothers laughed. Chisai is so weird, why would you cry over something like this? Just ignore him, he's always been like that. Nobody ever wanted to hear what I had to say. Neil Grayson. They all thought I was strange. Not one of them ever got me. And it didn't stop with family. Growing up, everyone was the same way. She doesn't like parties. Just let Chisai have fun, stop being so uptight. Everyone was the same. No one understood, it was exhausting. Even smiling felt like a chore. I was done. I stopped wanting anything. It was my own little corner of the world where nobody bothered me. One way or another, all of this would end someday. Shisa finally bolted awake from the nightmare. He gasped for air and shot upright. How long was I out? That guy. Just then, Jesse caught the smell of cigarette smoke and turned to see Chu Yaoxi leaning against the car in the morning sun, smoking. The sunrise fell across him, blood all over his body, yet he looked completely calm. Sai couldn't take his eyes off him. Jesse got out and walked over. Chu Yaoxi noticed him. Jesse watched him turn around. Oh, Mila. Sligote. Chase can't resist Josie's charm anymore. He's totally falling for him. Josie fought wolves all night and now he's smiling, asking Chase if he slept well. And that's got Chase's heart racing. Why is he just smiling? Shouldn't he be annoyed and angry with me right now? Josie looks at the silent Chase and says, sorry, I was out of cigarettes, so I borrowed one. Chase catches on. Didn't you say you quit? Because I was bleeding. Smoking's bad for you, but it helps constrict blood vessels. Your face is hurt. Your arm got bitten. When you've been doing this job long enough, you get banged up. It looks worse than it is. Besides, protecting you is my job. I was just doing what I'm paid to do. Don't worry about it. Chase stares at the irresistible Josie, then catches himself. Who said anything about worrying? Josie says good. Would you do anything a client asks you to? Josie answers, if it's doable, sure. Chase asks, even killing someone. Chase pushes further. Would you actually do it? Josie refuses. No, I won't become a criminal. Chase lets out a dismissive laugh. He laughs and says, I knew it. Josie says, now if the reward is a kiss, I might reconsider. Chase fires back, isn't that a little too cheap? If that's not enough, what else could you offer me? Chase tells him to stop messing around. But the next second, Josie says, how about we sleep together? In the morning light, Josie is dead serious. He flicks the cigarette, walks up to Chase, looks him in the eye and asks, can I kiss you? Chase thinks, if I say no, how would this guy react? Would he just give an awkward smile and back off like usual? Or would he get angry and say, I risked my life for you and you won't even give me this? But wait, why would I even say no? Leaning against the car, the two share a deep, breathless kiss until Josie finally pulls back. They're both breathing hard. Josie looks at Chase with hungry eyes and asks, Miller, can I keep going? Chase thinks Josie is a beta. He won't get lost in each other's pheromones, and he won't leave a mark. So, why does she want to sleep with me? Or is he just playing games with me? If it's neither, then does he actually have feelings for me? Chase feels Josie's touch and pulls his hand away. Jack. Josie quickly pulls back, steps away, then says, what a shame. With what she says, Josie lights up another cigarette, yeah. So he's really just letting it go, just like that. Usually, no one ever cares what I want. If someone wants me, they'll use pheromones, drugs, whatever it takes. He had every right to just demand it after saving my life, so why didn't he? Just then, a rescue helicopter appeared overhead. Josie says, lucky us, that was fast. I figured it wouldn't get here until tomorrow. Chase rubs his reddened fingers. The two climb up the rope ladder lowered from the helicopter. Miller, you're okay. Thank God. Oh man, Josie Bailey, this guy is insane. Still this energetic with an injured arm. You're doing alright. Josie tells Henry to give him a hand if he's good. Henry reaches out, but Chase gets there first. Chase grabs Josie, yanks him hard into his arms, and takes the fall himself. Josie panics, Mr. Miller. Mark and Henry watch in stunned silence. But Chase just holds Josie tight and growls, who the hell said you could touch him? A bunch of filthy hands. Chase holds Josie tight. Who told you to touch him? A bunch of panicked fools. Mark and Henry are both stunned. Josie gets up and says he's fine. Thanks to Chase for grabbing him. Thank God everyone's okay. How's Chase doing? He's getting treated right now. Luckily it's just scrapes. Don't worry about it. We'll go over the details when we get back. But when Josie stands up, he staggers. He wonders what's wrong with his body. Then he just collapses to the ground. He's back at the hospital. Josie gets his vaccines, and he needs to stay for observation for a day. Mark asks Josie, how hard were you pushing yourself to pass out on the helicopter? Josie's once he finally relaxed. He just blocked out without realizing. By the way, how's the terror attack investigation going? The source of the problem was the hospital where Chess's doctor works. The chocolate we ate was also laced with something. Henry ate the most, so his symptoms were the way. He hallucinated and that's why he attacked his aunt. Josie thinks about that doctor. He asks if the doctor is the culprit. No, it was a staff member who gave us the chocolate. He's a member of a cult that targets top-tier alphas. That hospital is also doing research on top-tier alphas. He infiltrated it as a staff member and used us as his target. As soon as Chess's treatment was done, he counted his accomplices. They must have been planning this for a long time. Their guns and the truck both failed. They're pretty frustrated. Well, only the doctor knew which road we were taking. Mark says the doctor was investigating, and she's not a suspect. When that staff member asked her, she told him without any suspicion. The wolves in the area are well known and it's not patient-sensitive information, so she just mentioned it. She later apologized and said it was her mistake. Anyway, we're handing the investigation over to the police. Let's just focus on our own job. Josie asks how Shiz is doing and whether he got hurt. Mark says you're this badly hurt, so of course you better be in one piece. What's surprising, after you passed out, Shiz went completely pale. He even tried to follow you to the hospital. We had to talk him out along there. If he showed up and drew a crowd, that would have been a mess. We barely managed to convince him to stay. Isn't he supposed to be the cold-blooded type who doesn't bat an eye when someone dies? He was acting like a madman. What's going on? Did you two get closer when you were alone together? Josie tries to explain. Maybe the drug hadn't worn off and he was hallucinating. There's no way Chiz would care whether her bodyguard lies or dies. Mark thinks about it. Yeah, that's probably it. Alright, can I rejoin the team tomorrow night? Your son is all scheduled for the day after tomorrow. This incident already pushed back Chaz's shoot. Don't worry about work. Just rest up. Josie says he can be discharged today. Then come back tomorrow for the test you saw. Pete's been really worried about me. So I want to swing back home. If the doctor clears it, I'm fine with that. Josie says Pete must be going crazy waiting. Mark tells him not to make Pete cry. And so Josie goes home. Dada, are you badly hurt?
Are you okay?
Peter, I'm fine, Pete. The doctor says I'll be better soon. Mom tells Josie to take care of himself. Josie says minor injuries like this are normal in the field. He also says he has to head back tomorrow afternoon. Pete, sleep with me tonight, okay? Pete is thrilled, of course. Pete starts crying. Dad, please don't get hurt anymore. But Josie can't stop. This should get enough rest. He wasn't seriously injured, but going through a terror attack can leave a mark on you mentally. Meanwhile, Shiz is furious, demanding to know why Josie got time off. Since his mother lives nearby, he wanted to visit home, so they approved the leave. How did you approve the leave without telling me? Marcus speech. Scheduling the team is my call. What is he even angry about? Did Josie do something to set him off when they were alone together? The Chiz mutters under his breath. Mark thinks Josie saved his life, so why is he this angry? He'll be back once his treatment is done. If you need him for something, I'll report back to you the moment he's here. Chiz asks Mark, you sure he's coming back tomorrow? Right? Mark says of course, and if you dare lie to me, I'll kill you. Mark agrees, thinking to himself, why would I lie about something like this? Then he just stands to the side watching Chiz smash things and lose his mind. Josie, what the hell happened between you two? Chiz is a mess over there, but on Josie's end, everything is peaceful. The bodyguard team's love triangle trauma fully exposed. Let's go. Xuaoxi finally rejoins the team. Mark asks how his injury is doing. Xuaoxi says it's nothing. What about Seth? Seth also comes back today. Mark assigns Xiaoxi and Seth to tomorrow's shift. For today, just rest up. Oh, right. You need to go see Shiz today. I gave you the time off without running it by him first. He's pretty ticked off. Scheduling is my call, though. Still, go show your face. Xiaoxi says he'll go change first and then head over. Mark reminds him, make sure you go. Don't forget. Xiaoxi gets back and starts changing. Seth comes back to Xiaoxi, when did you get here? About half an hour ago. How's your injury? How are you holding up? Seth says he's fine. What about you? Xiaoxi says she's fine too. You sure? You were alone with the top level alpha, weren't you? I'm good. The pheromones weren't the issue. That lone wolf line was the real problem. Alright, good. Have you been keeping up with your pheromone meds? Xiaoxi says no. I never really took them regularly anyway. I don't think I've taken them since the attack. He wonders if he smells. Seth's not sure either. Seth leans and takes a sniff. Your scent is really faint. Just then, Isaac walks over. What are you two doing? Answer me. What's going on here? He's furious. The two of them have no idea what he means. Talking. Seth explains. What are you thinking? Xiaoxi and I aren't like that. Then what did I just see? You were kissing Xiaoxi's neck. You're really gonna try to explain that to me? Zach. Just because you like Xiaoxi doesn't mean everyone else is your rival. After Seth says that, everyone freezes. Henry-san. Isaac is speechless. Xiao asks Seth what he's talking about. Isaac likes you. That's why he's freaking out. He thought I was moving in on you. You've got some nerve. That's not what. Seth explains. You kept pushing me. I had to defend myself. Henry gives Isaac a dark look and asks if it's true. You piece of trash. Do you actually like Xiaoxi? Xiaoqi is confused. Now what's Henry's deal? Seth chimes in again. You don't know. Henry likes Isaac. At Pittman's party, those two disappeared together. Because Henry confessed to Isaac that night. Yeah, Isaac asks Seth how he knew about that. It was so obvious. How could I not know? Xiaoxi's head is spinning from all these tangled feelings. Henry is still going off on calling him a jerk. Xiaoxi thinks this whole situation is a total mess. Really much to process. He was already stressed about dealing with Chess. Now it's even worse. Xiaoxi takes a breath and steadies himself. He knocks. Miller, I heard you were looking for me. But is he not in his room? He opens the door. Mr. Miller, the window's wide open. So the room is empty. There was no heads up that he was going out today. Then Xiaoxi spots a figure outside the window. That's the private beach. Who's out there at this hour? Oh, it's Chiz showing off that body of his. Mr. Miller. Sorry I'm late. I heard you were looking for me, so I went to your room. Xiaoxi finally gives a clear look at Chiz and freezes. Because Chiz is completely naked, staring right at him. Sorry to bother you. I don't need anything. Get out of your hand. Chiz quickly comes over and grabs Xiaoxi's arm before he can leave. Xiaoxi winces in pain. Chiz notices and lets go. He releases his arm. He asks him to clean. Obviously. Chiz hears that and loosens his grip. Then he gently brushes his fingers against Xiaoxi's ear. What's going on? Why are you suddenly? I mean, Mr. Miller. Hold on. But Chiz keeps slowly moving closer to Xiaoxi and plants kiss after kiss on him. She and Josie are totally head over heels for each other right now. Staring into each other's eyes, Josie asks, is it my fault? She suddenly calls out Josie's name, and just like that, they disappear into the bedroom together. The next morning, Josie wakes up and opens his eye. Out of habit, he reaches for his phone to check the time. That's when it hits him just how wild last night was. But then he turns and sees she's sleeping, looking impossibly head. And all of Josie's frustration just melts away. It's impossible to stay mad at a face like that. He looks at Chi. Lips so swollen. He gently touches Chi's lips. Then suddenly spots a security camera in the corner. He totally forgot it. It startles Josie. Oh no, he forgot about the camera. He has to delete the footage before anyone sees it. Josie throws his clothes and heads straight for the security room. Josie, you're not on the early shift today. What are you doing here? An excuse, just out for a walk, thought he stopped by. Anything happened last night? Seth says nope, totally quiet. From Seth's reaction, he clearly didn't see anything from Chi's room camera. Josie sneaks a glance. The feed is off. Is the camera in Chi's bedroom not in use? Seth explains. Lola said to shut it off if possible. It's been off for days. Oh, really? Okay. Josie breathes a huge sigh of relief. Next time, no matter how old he is, he has to be more careful. Wait, next time, does he actually want to do this with Chi Miller again? Seth notices Josie's face is really red and asks if he's okay. Josie says it's nothing. I guess out of there fast. What do you mean next time? See, the bonds just mess with my head so bad I lost all sense. I need to stop reading into things with Chi Miller. On set, the director is absolutely buzzing with excitement. It's perfect. Chi, you're on fire today. Lola agrees. She's doing way better than usual. Looks like the break did him a lot of good. Josie nods, then turns to look at Chi and catches Chi already looking right at him. Seeing Josie, she breaks into a smile that no one's seen in a long time. Oh my god, he hasn't smiled like that in forever. Did you just see that? Chi Miller actually smiled, and he didn't blow up at anyone. I can't believe it. He must really be in a good mood. He's always so stone-faced. Hey, Josie. Your face is really red. Are you still not feeling 100%? Josie quickly says no, it's probably just the heat. But Lola thinks it actually feels kind of nice out today. But still blushing, Josie sneaks a glance. But she is just flat out staring at him. During the break, the crew is looking for Chi. They're about to start shooting again. Where did he go? Turns out Chi is off in a corner being all cozy with Josie. Josie, you've been watching me this whole time, haven't you? Josie says it's just part of his job. Chi knows he's lying. Chess is actually getting jealous of Josie and her little sister Emma. Now Lola is running around trying to get Chess back on set. Damn it, I gotta go. Josie tells him to go ahead, but he just stands there pouting. Josie asks if he has something to say. Filming. Sure, Josie, why filming? Don't leave before we wrap. Wait for me. Mr. Miller, where the heck are you? Josie says got it, and tells him to hurry up. Film me right here. Josie quietly slips phone. Good thing nobody saw that. It's not like I'm some teenager. Getting all flustered like that. I just can't resist Chess's face. Gotta keep it together before anyone figures it out. That's when Josie spots her little sister Emma on set too. She asks if Chess is doing okay. Lola says she's actually doing surprisingly well. The director is thrilled. All the days they fell behind are getting wrapped up within 3 days. I'll let Mr. Pittman know the shoot is going smoothly. After they finish talking, Lola heads off to handle other work. Josie sees her sister is finally free. She goes over to say hi. What are you doing here all of a sudden? Did Pittman send you again? Ma, well yeah, 我要出来避险. I'm here to check if the shoot was affected after the attack. You okay? Josie says she's fine. Her sister says Josie's greatest asset is her health, so she better take care of herself. Little do they know, Chess has been watching the two siblings the whole time. His female co-star asks what he's staring at so intently. What's that all about? Well, it's probably cheating, right? That's just how it goes. Playing the field on the fact. She as much as turns out cheating. Meanwhile, the two siblings are still happily chatting away. Chess got upset again today, and he worked himself up so much he started crying. Now Josie's been told Chess is looking for him. He wants you at the trailer right now. He looked dead serious. Well, Josie wondered if Chess had something to say. His expression during the shoot was pretty dark. It's like how Josie dealt with Chess giving him a hard time, so he called for backup. Did he track me down again after the shoot just for this? No, it's probably just work stuff. Stay focused. Josie knocked on the trailer door. The door opened and there was Chess with a dark look on his face. Chess was fuming, looking totally pissed. Before Josie could figure out what was going on, Chess stormed over and threw a punch at him. What the hell are you doing? So angry with grinding his teeth, grabbed Josie by the collar and slammed him down onto the bed. He balled up his fist ready to hit Josie again. Josie quickly blocked him. The two of them were locked in a tense struggle. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? Just a few hours ago we were kissing. Chess was about to cry. He looked at Josie like he was about to break down hurt. Josie felt his heart clench at the sight. He let go of Chess, pulled him close, and shouted with Chess, who got a little nip, pushed Josie away. This really isn't the time for kissing, is it? But how could you bring yourself to punch that face? Chess pointed out that Josie had hit him before. Josie remembered. He must have been pretty shocked back then. Josie grabbed Chess, flipped him over and pinned him down. He held Chess down with his hand. So what, you're getting back at me now? He leaned in and gave Chess a gentle, soothing little bite. Mr. Miller, can you tell me why you hit me? It's not because I hit you that one time, is it? Chess hesitated before speaking, voice cracking like he was about to cry. Stop seeing that woman. What woman? Who are you talking about? That woman. Pittman's secretary. You mean Emma? Why? I want to know her name. I don't want to know. Don't even say her name around me. Got it? Huh? Oh man, you've got to be kidding me. You think this is funny? I thought you were going to say something serious. She's my little sister. I don't care who she is. You're not seeing her, period. Wait, what did you just say? I said she's my sister. My actual sister. Ches misunderstood Qiaoqi and still ended up getting punished. Ches got so jealous he was in tears. Qiaoqi explained that she's my sister, Emma Bailey. You're lying. Qiaoqi said they could do a DNA test, but Ches better be ready to face the consequences. Ches remembered what that secretary had said before. Pittman's secretary. Emma Bailey. Emma Bailey. Qiaoqi Bailey. Qiaoqi asked him if he finally got it now. Ches nodded. So don't you think you owe someone an apology? Qiaoqi watching him with a smile on his face. Ah, right, I'm sorry. That Xiaoxi, she smiled satisfied and reached up to undo his. Cheers, Miller, when you screw up, there are consequences. Be good. The more intense things get, the more you need to save your energy. Think of it like being kidnapped. You can't move. You have to wait for the right moment and make one clean escape. Cheers, what is going on right now? Getting punished and still acting like that. You really are a bad boy.
Such a bad boy.
Cheers picks up on an omega scent coming off Josie. Is Josie's identity about to be exposed? Cheers slept in late, and the first thing he did was reach for Josie. But the spot next to him was already empty. He got up, caught a whiff of food, and opened the door to find Josie cooking. Cheers, you up? Feeling better? Much better. What are you doing? You were asleep, so I made breakfast. Well, I figured you'd be hungry. Cheers says when he woke up and Josie wasn't there, he thought he'd taken off. Josie, what's with all those scars? Oh, I got banged up in the service. Being a bodyguard comes with its fair share of injuries too. That's from an appendectomy. Actually a scar left by Pete's birth, but he can't tell him that. Josie changes the subject and asks if the food's decent. Did you really make all this yourself? Of course, I didn't lift a finger in the kitchen. Josie tells Chiz that if he's worried about being poisoned, he shouldn't give anyone the chance to touch his food. Chiz says he already told him. He's not going to suspect him. After eating, with Chiz being his picky self, Chiz sits off to the side looking preoccupied, half listening to Josie rambling on. Josie asks if he wants to go another round. You've been staring at me this whole time. I was just zoning out. Last night was pretty intense, wasn't it? Chiz still looks like he's got something weighing on him. He doesn't want Josie to leave. If it weren't for filming, I'd want to keep him here with me all day. Wait, all day. So what happens to us when filming wraps? Once the bodyguard contract ends, will Josie even stick around? If he just sees this as a random thing that happened on the job. Josie cuts off his train of thought and says she has to head out. The shift handoff is coming on. I need to get back to my place. No, don't go. Stay here. What did you just say? I said don't go. You're protecting me anyway, same as everyone else. Just stop being difficult. It's not good for either of us if I'm here all the time. People are going to start talking about us. Are you ashamed to be seen with me? That's not what Josie means at all. Who I'm with is my personal life, and I'd rather keep it that way. Besides, if this gets out, it's going to be a headache for both of us. You really want me getting chased by paparazzi and jumped by your hardcore fans? Chiesa says he can protect Josie. Josie shoots that I'm the one who's supposed to be protecting you. Then just rearrange the shift schedule. Covers your job and works for me. That's the only way, isn't it? Why is he being such a child about this? The work schedule isn't mine to change. Chiz pouts and asks, really you can't? Josie looks up and catches Chiz giving him that look with that face. Josie is a total sucker for a pretty face, there's no way he can say it. Dimly. I am completely powerless against that face. It reminds him of his son always pulling that same move to get him to stay. Why does he have to be exactly like Pete in every little way? Fine, I get it. I'll go talk to Mark. Chiz leans into Josie and says okay. Just then, Chiz catches a whiff of pheromones coming off Josie. He yanks back from Josie. Josie looks totally confused. Why do you smell like an omega? Chiz's psycho brother is back to mess with him again. Good thing Qiaoxi was there to have Chiz back. Now she is asking Qiaoxi why he smells like an omega. Qiaoqi says he had to run to the restaurant for more supplies. Lots of omegas there, so he probably picked up the scent. Chu figures that makes sense. He released so many pheromones yesterday. If Qiaoxi were an omega, he would have reacted and given off a much stronger scent. Qi tells Qiaoxi to go get the shift schedule sorted out. After Qiaoxi leaves, Chi sits on the bed, his mind heavy with worry. Is Qiaoxi an omega? That seems sad. He clearly said he was a beta. But if I keep releasing pheromones like I did yesterday, it could trigger a secondary gender shift. What if Qiaoxi ends up becoming an omega because of me? What if he ends up hating me for it? What if Qiaoxi said that he was the one protecting him? Qi clenches his fists, disgusted. This is pathetic. A secondary gender control by pheromones, and myself along with it. It's all revolting. Just then, Xie hears the door open and thinks Qiaoxia is back. Qi, looks like you're doing just fine. Long time no see, little brother. It's Qi's unhinged older brother. Heard you had an accident, but you're looking pretty good. So, you're disappointed, aren't you? Wow, my heartless little brother. You never understand how much I care about you. I just came to see how the shoot is going. You're playing a doctor. You're Qi Miller, not a doctor. If you came here to mock me, you can get out. It's been so long, come give your brother a hug. Get away from me. You're out of your mind. I can't believe you'd say that. I love you so much. You always misunderstand. It's not a misunderstanding, it's the truth. If you love me, you never would have done that to me. I did it because I love you. Don't you get that? During my heat, you locked me in with a dog, and you call that helping me. Grayson just shrugs and says what's wrong with the dog. How many times do I have to tell you? If you don't want that, just flush the pheromones out beforehand. What, so if I don't want that, I should just find some random person with no feelings involved. Grayson says it's all the same anyway. He asks Shi why he always has to attach meaning to things that don't matter. She thinks about what his doctor told him, that Grayson sent bullets to England. Leash is the only omega among the brothers. If something happened between them, that would be a disaster. If you go into heat and you don't have anyone, would you go to Bliss? Well, Grayson says casually. If it comes down to that, there's no other choice. Better than being stuck with a dog. Those words hit Chi like a thunderbolt out of nowhere. He is our brother after all. Brothers looking out for each other. What's wrong with that? Or do you actually prefer the dog? Chi loses it. I never did that. How would you even know? You don't even remember any of it. So if it wasn't the dog, was it the cat? Qi says no. But he flashes back to the dog's collar, its terrifying fangs and gaping jaws. Qi is instantly overcome. He doubled over, sick to his stomach. Qi, I genuinely don't understand what the problem is. Nathaniel and I, all of us, we're just trying to help you. Sam was barely keeping his balance. Please, just leave me alone. When Grayson reaches out to steady him, don't touch me. Get out, right now. People like you should have been gone a long time ago. The gun back then, I had it pointed in the wrong direction. It should have been aimed at you. Just then, Qiaoxie comes back. Seeing Qiaoxie, she finally starts to calm down a little. Qiaoxie looks at Qi, his heart aching for him. Now you can't just walk in here uninvited. Mr. Grayson, this puts us in a very difficult position. Even family members need to get permission from the patient first. Seeing Qiaoxie step in front of Xi, Grayson's smile fades. Qiaoxie continues. So please leave now. Turns out Chase had been abused by his older brother Grayson since he was a kid. But Grayson genuinely believed he was helping Chase. And now the crazy brother Grayson showed up again to see Chase. Josie told Grayson to get out. Josie asked if Mark had actually let him in. He never said anything. Even if he opened the door, there's no way he wouldn't have reported it to Miller. So as far as I'm concerned, you broke it. Grayson stared Josie down and said, he didn't look like a beta at all. Chase quickly shoved his brother aside and told Josie to just get lost. Oh yeah, how can you be so sure? I can smell it. Plus, Josie didn't react to my pheromones at all. Grayson asked Chase what he was so curious about. He sniffed him and even used pheromones on him. Chase told him to stop trying to stop and just leave. Chase, don't tell me you. Chase shouted at Grayson to get the hell out. Grayson said fine, he'd leave. But he wanted Josie to walk. He'd be lonely going back alone. Chase absolutely refused. But Josie agreed. Chase tried to stop Josie. Josie said he'd just walk him out and come right back. Grayson told Chase to keep up the good work. And then added, if you want him, just turn him into an Omega. Chase was so furious he was speechless. Grayson told Josie to hurry up and escort him out. Grayson all the way to the front. Grayson complained that the security was insane. It was a pain just to see his own brother. Josie said Grayson knew exactly why. He casually put his brother in the same category as, and he was just bullying Chase. Turns out Josie had been listening outside the door the whole time. Every awful thing Grayson said. Like if Chase wasn't into dogs, was he into cats instead? Josie said nobody likes being forced into things. But Grayson didn't think he'd forced anyone. He asked, was it about the chimney thing when they were kids? Chase believed in Santa Claus. So Grayson shoved him into the chimney to see if Santa really came through it. Chase ended up breaking his arm, but at least his neck was fine. Josie's heart sank hearing that. And Grayson thought he was doing Chase a favor. Chase was scared of the so Grayson locked him in the closet to help him get used to it. When Chase didn't want to go to school, he pushed him into a school bus. That he timed it perfectly so Chase wouldn't get hurt too badly, like that was some kind of achievement. And Chase was still ungrateful. Wasn't that straight up abuse? But Grayson didn't think he'd done anything wrong. He was just helping Chase. Josie said none of that was what Chase wanted. And because of Grayson, Chase ended up hating Doc and got saddled with all kinds of horrible rumors. Just thinking about it made Josie angry. Don't you know how much Miller has suffered because of the whole dog thing? But Grayson genuinely didn't get it. He figured anything that moves was pretty much the same. Josie gave up trying to get through to him and said he was heading back. Grayson called him cold-blooded. He'd assumed Chase was the craziest one in the Miller family, but Chase was actually the most normal. Anyone would have lost it growing up in that situation. He found himself worrying about Chase again. Sure enough, Chase was in a really dark place. Josie told him Grayson was gone. Chase still looked miserable. Seeing him like that broke Josie's heart. He crouched down and asked Chase what he could do. Just say the word. I'm here. He looked up at Chase and asked, you want me to kill him? So much pain, she begged Josie to kill her. Josie promised he would always protect Chase. Josie looked at Chase and asked, you want me to take care of it? To go, Grayson, or Grayson's the dog, or every single person who's ever hurt you. Whoever it is, just say the word. But Chase looked at him. I thought you said you couldn't be a criminal. Josie figured he'd probably handle prison a lot better than Chase would. So just tell me who. Chase leaned against Chase and Josie and actually asked him to kill her. I can't keep living like this. I'm so scared. What if I black out again and end up with Grayson's dog? Grace told her she didn't need to rush into finding a partner. So she had his dog, that was enough for. And honestly, thank God for that. But sweet knife Chase actually, she had to believe she'd been with the dog because she had zero memory of where she'd been or what she'd done. Not only the thing, that's the terrifying part. Josie tried to comfort her saying he understood. Chase was fed up with everything going on. Moisha said no matter how many times she said she didn't want any of this, nobody listened. They just wrote her off as a high-maintenance alpha throwing a tantrum. And every heat cycle, she acted like a total freak. And not as long as I'm here to protect you, 发生. And you won't lose your memory, eyes. And even if something like that does happen, I'll still be there for you. I won't let anyone hurt you. Really mean that. Should I promise? Chiz told Josie he had better keep that promise. Josie looked at Chiz with pure adoration. He also saw how the blonde hair really suited her. He just wished filming would wrap up soon. Chiz agreed, her heart racing, cheeks flushed. Just like that, another day of filming was done. Chiz came back to set like nothing had ever happened. She'd been anxious when they parted ways, but she didn't cling to him or beg him to stay up. The crew told Chiz her shots today were amazing. Keep that energy going tomorrow. Chiz had been taking less and less medication and her health was holding up well. And Chiz watched to Josie and suddenly felt a pang. Qiaoxi went to find firefighter Dane to get some suppressant. Dane told him love doesn't exist. Now Qiaoxia is watching she sleep. when suddenly his pheromones start reaching. After spending so much time to keep his pheromones under control, he's thinking he needs a stronger suppressant. Then it hits him. His firefighter buddy might be able to get some. So he tells Che he has to go to the hospital today and can't hang out with her. There's nothing he can do. She isn't happy. But she thinks it over and tells him to go ahead. She says he can't put off treatment. Chelsea is surprised she's being so agreeable. She tells him to get ready and head out. It'll probably take a while. Xu asks why she's so eager to get rid of him. She quickly says that's not it at all. Xu can tell right away she's up to something. He asks if she's really not hiding anything. She pulls Xu into a hug. But Xu doesn't go to the hospital. He goes to see his firefighter friend Dane. Xu asks if Dane is still working as a firefighter. Yeah, hard to believe, right? Dane hands Xu an address, saying he can get the meds he needs there, but he'd better be ready for the price tag. The waitress brings over Xiao's car and shoots him a flirty look. Asks Dan if he's coming over to our place tonight. Dane says she'll think about it. The waitress tells Xiao he's welcome to come too. She's got a thing for good-looking guys. Xiao asks Dane if he ever thinks about settling. You politely pass. You trying to date every single person in California. Dane says guys on the list too. He asks Xiao what brought him out here. Xiao says he's working as a bodyguard. He's famous. So kidnapping and threats are just part of the deal. There was even a terrorist attack at one point. Same kind of dirty grenade trick we used to pull back in the military. So I spotted it right away. Dane recalls that time he saved Xiao and shakes his head. What a mess he asks if the bodyguard gig pays well. Xiu asks if he's interested. Dane says no. He asks if that celebrity she needs suppressants too. Xiaoxi's expression goes serious. Dane says fine, forget he asked. He asks why Xiaoxi's pheromone is already so faint. Why is she coming to him for meds? Xiaoxi says an alpha on his team picked up on him. So he figured it was to keep a low profile. Same story as before. A coworker who didn't know Xiaoxi was an Omega ended up falling for him. Xiaoxi asks how that's even possible. When his scent is barely there. Dane says it doesn't matter. It's always about pheromones. You think real love only exists between betas? Xiaoxi says no. Dane says love is a lie from the start. There's no such thing as real love. That sends a chill straight down Xiaoxi's spine. A gorgeous blonde version of Qiuxai in drag just showed up, and Xiaoxi was completely smitten. It brought back every memory of his first crush. Qiuxai came back after meeting Diane and found the shoot still going on. Why were there even more crew members than usual? Ma Ke told Xiaoxi he was about to see something pretty amazing, something that might bring back memories of his first crush. The figure they were filming a kissing scenes on us, we tried to shoo him away. The whole crowd was losing it. People saying things like on rail and looks like an angel. A stunning blonde woman had just walked onto the set. Oh wow, it's Qiuxai in drag with blonde hair. Absolutely gorgeous. Apparently when the original author signed the deal, one of the conditions was that Qiuxai's cross-dressing scene could never be cut. Every little move Qiuxai made in that outfit was pure magnetism, completely captivating. You really couldn't look away. Absolutely stunning. Then Qiuxai suddenly spotted Xiaoxi in the crowd. Luckily the director called cut right then, saying it was perfect. The next second, Qiuxai froze completely. The last person she wanted to see right now was Qia. Was he seriously about to make a run for it? You're back already. Weren't you supposed to be gone all day? Why are you back? Qiuxai said seeing that outfit brought back every memory of his first crush. Asasai got flustered and quickly covered his mouth. What the heck? Stop quoting like that. But Qiuxai lit his hand instead. I genuinely love that commercial. I don't care, don't even bring it up. Qiuxai explained that when he was little, he actually thought Qiuxai was a girl and had a crush on him. Qiuxai, you really were my first crush. Well, you were so cute back then, I still remember every word of that jingle. She said he never even got to meet him in person, so when he found out it was a boy, it caught him completely off guard. Qiuxai asked if he ever had any dreams about it or anything like that. About my first crush memory. Qiuxai asked what he had on underneath. Qiuxai said it was women's clothing. Qiuxai was already burning up inside. Are you gonna wear that tonight too? Well, if you do, I'm coming to your room. But what if I've got nothing on underneath? After teasing Qiuxai, Qixi walked off cheerfully. That little tease. How am I supposed to wait until tonight? She has found out Josie has a kid, but he doesn't know it's his. It happened when the makeup artist was touching him up, and he noticed she had the same scar as Josie on her stomach. Wait, what? So does that mean Josie had one too? Well, Josie just got off her shift, and Isaac came in to take over. Yes, feelings for Josie. Ever since Josie found out their bodyguard crew was basically one big secret crush circle, she felt awkward being alone with him. But Isaac went ahead and confessed anyway. Josie shot him down flat. She already has Pete. Can't I treat Pete like my own son? No need. Okay, Pete already has a mom. Aren't you just stirring up trouble? I don't want to be with anyone else. Only Pete's mom. Just let it go. After that, Josie went to find Shiz. Why is the door open? Could there be an intruder? She went in ready to fight, then realized it was just Ches. But Ches looked like he had something heavy on his mind, so she didn't ask. She still wanted to fool around with Qiuxai, his long-haired cross-dressing look. Qiuxai asked if he preferred him that way dressed as a woman. Because you're pretty popular with the ladies too. Hu Yaoqi said it was Qiuxai's face he liked. After that, Qiu Xiaoxi was completely wiped out. Qiuxai noticed Qiu Yaoshi had a scar on his stomach. He said he got it in high school. Some guy on the opposing football team got him. You were the star player on your team. If you kept going, you could have gone pro. Qiu Yaoshi said he just lost interest, but the real reason was that he presented as an Omega, and staying would have meant never meeting QC. It worked out better this way, didn't it? Qiuxai asked if he was always this forward. Asking shot back, asking if QC was always this intense. Qiuxai figured Qiu Yaoshi was experienced, the kind of guy past partners wouldn't want to let go of. Qiuxai said there was one person who turned around and forgot like he never existed. She figured that person must have been playing games on purpose. But that person is you, Qixi. 很久吗? Qiuxai asked if Qiu Yaoshi had been with that person for a long time. Qiu Yaoshi come off his bad manners to ask about someone's history in bed. 很久吗? Qiuxai thought if Qiuxai ever found out about Pete, it would devastate him. Either way, the mission was over, and so was whatever this was with Kisai. No point bringing up Pete, just like the memories Kisai had lost all those years ago.